right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, Rui. Welcome in, Yeshwanth, Board Coffee Mug, R Pink. Thank you, guys. Hit the like button. R Pink, thank you for modding. Thank you for being here. Samuel S., love back from me. Jesus Save 77, thank you for being here. And yes, I am actually having a great day so far. A little bit boring in the crypto market, but having a great day. D Crypto, welcome in. Chad P, welcome in. Thank you guys so much for being here. All right, guys. So Bitcoin is seeing a little bit of a push up today, or I guess we're just seeing a little bit of consolidation in this area. But with this push up earlier that we've seen this morning now, we can say that this is more likely to be a three-wave corrective move to the downside. And it is likely that we do come make new highs on Bitcoin and we continue to push up higher. Also, if we look at our multiple 1-2 impulse that we're seeing in here, I think the third wave is in. This was our fourth wave, and now we can expect to see a couple more 4-5s coming in here, a few more 4-5s coming in here. So for me, I do think Bitcoin is going to push up higher. We do not want to take out the low that we made really last night, around 113,600. We really don't want to take out that low again, unless we're going to see a bigger kind of running flat correction in here. But otherwise, I do think Bitcoin has a higher likelihood to push up. Also, with what we're seeing right now locally from today, we did make a lower high, which in some ways is good because we would be setting up for bear divs and money flow bear divs if we did make that higher high right now. And of course, that is still possible if we kind of chop around in here for a bit and then start to push up. We will continue to build bear divs on the chart, but that could give us our bigger pullback either from this 117.6 to like 118K or potentially even up at this 121.5-ish area. So welcome in, everybody. Thank you guys for joining. We'll go ahead and cover Bitcoin. We can cover some of the altcoins. If you guys have any altcoins you want me to look at, post them in the chat. And we'll just kind of look at a few things here on Bitcoin right now, and then we'll go into some of the altcoins. So a couple important things to talk about that has happened since yesterday's video that I did make. The volume profile of this last 2-week long range since the crash has ended. We have been looking at the range that has been forming since the crash has ended. Now, we took out the highs of the range yesterday. We took out those highs. We did see that three-wave corrective move down to our key anchored VWAPs. But in yesterday's video, if you guys watched yesterday's video, what was also really important in this general area where the anchored VWAPs were, and that's also where our 382 for a wave 4 bounce would be in this continued Elliott impulse from last Wednesday, it was also the value area high of our range. And this is actually important. Our value area high has shifted upwards today. So if I pull this volume profile back to just yesterday, let's see, let me grab it a little bit lower. You can see that that value area high was lower. It was right around that 113.8, 113.9, where we did bounce on the back test, the bullish back test after the breakout of that volume profile. We bounced, and that would signal that we should expect some higher prices to come, potentially new highs to come in. But now if we take this same volume profile and we extend it to current price action, right now, you can see that that value area high has actually shifted up, and we are still within the volume profile. And as a range develops, especially this range, it's starting to become a more mature range. But as a range develops and matures a bit, you will have some volume profile shifts in there, value area shifts and POC shifts in there. And now that that value area high is shifted up, it is suggesting that we are still just range trading. We are not breaking out of the range quite yet. We are still just range trading. But if we want to see this impulse from last Wednesday continue to push up here, we really want to hold above the lows that we made last night or wherever you're at in the world at that low about 113.6 here. We do not 113.8. We do not want to really break that low here. And we're seeing Bitcoin take a little bit of a tumble right now. Let's go ahead and check out what's happening here. Yeah. Starting to see a bit of a move down here on Bitcoin. Let's see. Are the other altcoins dropping too? Yeah, starting to see a bit of a move down on some of the coins here. So for me, I really want to see right now Bitcoin hold a higher low from this low that was made last night. And if we can hold that, I do think we still can continue to kind of grind either around the value area high, and we're also within that pitchfork band. So oftentimes I talk about this on the channel, but within these pitchfork bands, you do generally form ranges in and around the pitchfork bands within the band, or if it's a smaller pitchfork, just generally around that band where you will see multiple rejections from that band before ultimately making a bigger move either to the downside or to the upside. Let's see. Is there any news that is pushing this price action down? What we do have to worry about, guys, tomorrow is we do have a big day tomorrow in the markets. Wednesday, October 29th, we have our federal funds rate, the FOMC statement tomorrow. And depending on whether if the Fed decides to cut rates or not, this could be a big catalyst for the market to move in one way or the other. We also are seeing our VWAP bands really starting to expand here. And this move that we could see tomorrow or even today, kind of front running that move or front running that news, could be a big volatile move in the market. So we want to be prepared for volatility. We want to be prepared, if you're in trades, to use proper management, to use those stop losses. And I think we are going to be coming to a decision within this range in the next couple of days here. Maybe by the end of the week, we might be coming to a decision on whether we're going to reject the highs of this range, invalidate the impulse to the upside, and we're going to see that bigger correction to the downside, or we're going to, hold this and break out and see the pumpage continue here. So welcome in, everybody. Jaffiel, welcome in. Thank you for being here. It's good to see you. Kay Glay, Todd, thank you, guys. Edie Camp, Chicken Salt, welcome in, guys. Much love to you. David Brumbelow, welcome in. And yeah, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you. Please hit the like button. If you do get anything out of this stream, please hit the like button. I also do want to make an announcement on some exciting stuff coming up with BYDFI, but we'll get into that in just a second here. Some new competition that we could possibly have going soon here that would really be exciting for anyone who's trading with BYDFI with me. Now, before we go into that, I want to just take another minute here to talk about Bitcoin. So I'm going to zoom out to the 4-hour time frame. We're going to turn off this small range since after the crash happened. Now, this is our local range that we're kind of in right now. But as we know, we've been in a bigger range as well. So let's go ahead and turn off that small range. And I want to talk about the range. We have this range, which is really more of this upper price action in here. And we could see this as a deviation of the range at the bottom. But if we look at a range, actually a beer the other day in the live stream last week talked about this range, which I do believe it's a valid range as well. So I'm going to turn off this range and we're going to look at this range that goes back to this high here before our big 3-wave corrective move down to 98K and then that last push up. If we include this price action, because since we deviated back within our old range here, we now could say, okay, maybe we can combine the two ranges and we can look here. And if we combine those two ranges, you can see that our value area low is at a very, very key level of support. We laid this level of support out in yesterday's video. And if this impulse is going to fail, now that we've grabbed the highs, the liquidity above the highs of our kind of dead cat bounce that we saw immediately after the crash. So it's important to know, after a big volatile crash happens like this, you will often see a dead cat bounce or a sort of recovery, a little bit of a relief rally recovery. And the relief rally recovery highs are always very, very important. And those were the highs that we made on Bitcoin on Sunday. And many of the altcoins were on Monday that we made those highs. So these highs in particular, once we stop out the traders who shorted those dead cat rally highs, you can often see a reversal in price. So if this impulse is going to fail here, after we took the liquidity, which was the important part, and then we could see the big reversal down. And if we do see that, I expect us to at least drop to our golden pocket area. If you pull that Fibonacci from the lows to the highs of this entire push to the upside, 108K support. We know that we have some very, very key levels at that area. The value area low of our larger range, we have our golden pocket, and of course our anchored VWAP from the 74K lows that is really going to be key to start to continue to close daily and weekly candles above that area, is kind of our line in the sand. If we start to close daily candles underneath the anchored VWAP, underneath this value area low, Unfortunately, I do think that this is going to be continuation of a bigger trend to the downside, and we could see new lows come in as low as 96.5K. And that won't happen in one day, but that could be the bearish continuation since our all-time highs. So we really don't want to see that. We want to see Bitcoin kind of maintain above this local area. We don't want to take out our highs from last night, or our lows, excuse me, from last night. And we want to start to push up here and break up above our pitchfork band. And this pitchfork band right now is giving us a bit of expected resistance. If we truly start to reject from it, which what is developing right now on the charts is looking like we are starting to see a rejection here. Let's check this out. Yeah, if we do start to see this reject and lose the lows from last night, then it's going to be a bad sign to me. And we really don't want to see that happen. So we're going to have this play out during the live stream most likely. We kind of want to bounce from these two anchored VWAPs that we're coming down to right now. I am long on Bitcoin on a scalp long position, and my stop is below the low, and we're about where I entered right now. So if we look at that triple 1-2 impulse or multiple 1-2 impulse, we have our wave 1, wave 2, internal wave 1, internal 2, internal 1, internal 2. So that's your 3 1-2s. This is our big third wave here, and we want to now see 3 4 5s come in here. And if we look at our Fibonacci from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3, and we look at our wave 4 targets, then the area you want to bounce is between that 382 and that 0.5. Now, you can see here, when we came down to the 382, it was pretty much where our value area high was of our range. Let me zoom out onto the hourly chart. We will pull that range back up, which now the value area high has shifted, so we have to keep that in mind. But if we pull this range back up here, and let's pull this volume profile back a little bit before, and you can see that 382 was exactly on that value area high where our two key anchored VWAPs were, and this is really the area we want to hold. And so I am long from pretty much exactly where we're at right now. My stop is below the low, and I am targeting a TP1, just taking out the highs again would be a TP1 for me. Now, depending on how strong it looks, if we SFP that high, I will take probably 50 to 75% out of the long trade. But if we don't SFP, I'm actually not planning on taking any profit until we get up to this 117.6K area of resistance. So we got to keep an eye on this right now, what's happening with Bitcoin, the developments happening. Let's go zoom in on some lower time frames, and let's look at this. This doesn't look too good right now, guys. What we're seeing, this push down here, money flow crossing over into the red. We're not really seeing any bull divs here locally. Let's go to our 1 minute chart. Unfortunately, yeah, we don't see much here yet to see a reversal. Now, if we do take out the lows, excuse me, I keep saying highs. If we do take out the lows from last night, we could say that there is still a probability of a flat correction for wave 4. You know, we have our triple 1-2 here, we have our wave 3 here, and inside of this, we could be seeing a flat for a wave 4 coming down to hit that 0.5 Fibonacci, and then we could continue the 4 5s in here. But I do not like that so much. I would prefer to not take out the low from last night to continue pushing up here. And so we're going to have to keep an eye on this. We're going to have to keep an eye on, see how this works out. If we turn on those Fibonacci's, did I delete that? Let's see. Get rid of that. Then that wave 0.5 Fibonacci target is going to be pretty much at 113K, 113,067. And remember, the invalidation for this impulse to the upside is hitting the golden pocket of wave 3, which is about 112,300. If we do come down and hit 112,300, we can no longer classify this push up since last Wednesday as impulsive price action. And we'd have to be now looking at this entire move from the upside as more of a 3-wave corrective move with a flat in here, in this wonky price action in here. And then that could mean impulsive price action to the downside and taking out our lows at 103.5. All right, let me check the chat here. How are you guys doing today? Let me know. Are you guys in any trades? Are you guys long? Are you short? We can actually do a poll here. Let's do this. I'm going to start a poll, guys. Let me know. Are you bullish or are you bearish? Okay, there we go. Yeah, Jaffiel, we'll check out Super for you. We'll go into some of the altcoins. We'll check out Super. I just want to stay here with Bitcoin really quickly to see what is going to happen with this very, very local development that's happening with Bitcoin. And if we take out those lows, we can switch over to some of the altcoins and start to look at that. Team B Willow, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Rick Blood, welcome in. And Massey33, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. And yes, guys, thank you. Yeah, David, we are doing well here. We are doing well here in the Divine Hood household, and no complaints here. ASTR, we will check out Super. We will check out Asper. Bullish until Thanksgiving. Okay, interesting. You know, Decrypto, it is very, very interesting how, because crypto does run so much off sentiment, every year around Thanksgiving, obviously, people are getting together with their families at the dinner table, talking about things they're into, talking about their investments, and crypto usually sees a pretty big push on Thanksgiving or a big dump. So I do think volatility is coming during this Thanksgiving season, really particularly on Thanksgiving Day or the day after Thanksgiving Day. But there's a lot that can happen until then. We still pretty much got a month until Thanksgiving gets here. And a lot can happen, especially with FOMC, especially with some of these major trade developments happening November 1st, November 3rd. We have a lot of things in the making coming. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. You long to NQ, TP 26200, no crypto trade currently. Okay, Team Big Willow, that's awesome. Yeah, Jaffiel, it really does look like we are going to get a fake out to the downside, or potentially even come down to swipe these lows here before. We're trying to hold. We're getting some sort of indication. Actually, let's check out our order flow here. Let me zoom in on the order flow. Let's look at this here. Ooh. Where are we at? Big decrease in open interest. So what we're seeing right now is a bit of a long squeeze. Late longers getting squeezed out of the market here. Really, this whole entire kind of push down that we've seen from 115.5, 115.6 has been some late longers getting squeezed out. A beer, welcome in. It's good to see you, man. Thank you for joining, and thank you for modding. Okay, you grow, I grow. You're long on BTC from 4 hour 21 EMA. All right. Bullish. Ave and Tavo. Yeah, we'll do that. Grotto EZ, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here as well. I am long on a couple altcoins as well, Grotto EZ. So I'm hoping for more push to the upside. I'm hoping that Bitcoin can continue and we can get that kind of push up on some of the altcoins as well. Long at 113.8, liquidity just under us, 24-hour has me questioning my decisions. JB, I'm long from the same exact area as you. So I understand that. My stop is also below that low. Now, here's the thing, guys. If we do take out that low and we get stopped out on our position, I am willing to re-enter if we do start to bounce from the 0.5 Fibonacci and reclaim this anchored VWAP. Then I will be looking for a long position as well. Just re-enter. Looking to push up to that 117.6. So we'll kind of keep an eye on this. We are attempting to hold the anchored VWAPs, the 382 here. Can you check out Solana? Yeah, we'll check out Solana for sure, Graham G. Thank you for being here. Q4 is the possible end of this cycle. Decrypto, I agree. I think that we are close to a bear market, and I know that this time could be different. But according to the 4-year cycle, but also just looking at the technicals, the monthly bear divs, the weekly bear divs, daily. Do we still have those bear divs playing out on the daily? Let's see here. Daily, no bear divs quite yet locally, but if we do have a quick move up, let's say this next week, this week and the next week, the Fed cuts rates. We have this catalyst to push up to new all-time highs. We could see some pretty big bear divs come in again on the daily time frame. So that is something that I will be watching, because if we make another drive of daily bear divs and we continue to have those weekly bear divs on the chart, multiple drives of weekly bear div here. Look at this bear div. Look how bad that looks there. And then we have bear divs coming in on Market Cipher B as well. Now, as of now, our money flow for the week is actually pointing to the upside on Market Cipher B and also on NAMI. You can see that it's bottomed out and it's pointing to the upside, about to cross over into the green. And this is suggestive that we could have a couple more weeks or maybe a couple more months of pushes to the upside before we could even form another drive of bear div. But here's the thing, guys. On the weekly time frame, you can see that Bitcoin is continuing to develop those bear divs really from last year's all-time high. From the 74K all-time highs, we've continued to develop drives of bear div, and we kind of are squeezing in this like wedge that we're seeing here. And this is kind of the end of you often see this type of price action towards the end of a larger impulse or towards the end of any impulse. And so if we do start to get one more high, continued another drive of bear div on the weekly, where maybe we make another little momentum wave like this, and we're creating 4 drives of bear div on the weekly, and that money flow starts to roll over and come down. I mean, that to me is going to be a really big decision point on whether to take profit on some of the spot positions that I do hold as well. You got to accept what the market's going to give you, no matter where you got in from. If you see technicals and you're in profit on some of your spot positions or even some of your leveraged long positions, it is wise to at least take some profit. Okay, let's go back here. Nice. Okay. Nice little recovery here. I want to get above this anchored VWAP. Let's see if we can push back up here above 114,300-ish. Okay, not too much on the order flow right now. This push down, the volume here on this push down is a little concerning to me. Could be a CME gap fill sitting around 111K. Yes, here's the thing. Caleb, welcome in, first of all, Caleb. If we do come down to that 111.3, we could fill the CME gap and see a reversal. But the thing is, it would invalidate our push up from last Wednesday. These lows that we made last Wednesday. So it's this pivot in the market was very important, because this could have been a big flat correction in here, expanded flat correction. And now we want to see another impulse to the upside. So if we come down, once again, hitting that golden pocket of our wave 3 around 112.3, it's going to invalidate this push up. This entire push up since last Wednesday would be invalidated as an impulse now. And we'd have to be looking at it as more of a complex correction. And in that scenario, yes, we could still come down, bounce from 111K. You can see your POCs right around that 111K. But if we do bounce from that, we now have to really look out for a 3-wave corrective move, making a lower high and then continuing the dump to the downside. So if that develops, we'll look at that when it comes. For now, we are holding the highs. We're kind of holding around these anchored VWAPs, and I want to start to see us push up here. We got to get some buyers stepping in here, being willing to buy at this anchored VWAP support, at the value area high, or at our local wave 4 support levels, and continue to push up. Now, since yesterday, I talked about the swing failure pattern of the range highs into the top of the pitchfork band. This is our lower pitchfork band here. And with that liquidity grab, we were seeing a correction to the downside. When I was making the video yesterday, we were right in this general area. And we want this to hold, but you can see that we generally have this 3-wave corrective move down. And that is good. If anytime you see impulsive price action to the upside and three-wave corrective moves down, you can expect that impulsive price action to continue. We did hit the golden pocket. So if we take a golden pocket Fibonacci from the highs of yesterday to those lows that we made overnight, and you can see that golden pocket has been hit now. So yes, overall, it's just a little bit of wickage past the golden pocket. Let's throw that 786 on as well. Yeah, wickage passes the golden pocket 786. No real candle body closes on the 1 hour, which I do not like too much. But because we've now come up to hit this golden pocket, we cannot say that this move is likely to be the start of a 5-wave impulse, a 1, 2, 3. Now, if we would have only came up to the 0.5, we could have said that was a 4, and now we're likely to make new lows in a 5, starting an impulsive move to the downside, which would be a bearish sign. But because we did make a 3-wave corrective move, and now we're hitting that golden pocket, it invalidates the very local from yesterday, the very local push to the downside being an impulse to the downside, which is good for continuation of this move since last Wednesday. Okay, let me check the chat here, guys. Long BTC at 109K, but feel like I might pull back. It might pull back to my entry before going up. 109K. Yeah, if we do lose, if we do hit this golden pocket here, I think we could see somewhat of a bounce, but I would be expecting to come all the way actually down to 108K, around this 108K area, where we do have the macro golden pocket pulled from the lows to the highs. And then also we had that value area high and, of course, our key anchored VWAP around there. Let's just go ahead and let me clean this up a bit. And let's look at some of the levels, because I do believe we had a daily level, a fresh daily level right there as well. Yeah, so we have a fresh daily level also around that golden pocket support, and a weekly level right above that. So this general area here, guys, is going to be a very, very important support level. I would say between 108,700 or 108,600 to 107,600, that $1,000. And yes, that is a big, kind of a big range, $1,000 support area. But within that, you have your golden pocket and the value area low of our larger range that goes back a few months here. That goes back to this, the ending of this impulse, May 22nd. So you guys can see here, this is a nice impulse to the upside. Completed. You get your 3-wave corrective move down. We hit that 1-to-1 target perfectly. We also hit a pitchfork midline perfectly. Pushed up, made new highs. And that is what we want to be seeing very, very locally right now. If we go to our other chart, you can see that that 3-wave corrective move down came directly into our pitchfork midline. We bounced from that pitchfork midline, and we pushed up to the upper band. But after rejecting the upper band a couple times here, we are now grinding sideways. And when we lost, this is actually really important. I'm glad I clicked onto this chart because I was meaning to show this to you guys in yesterday's video. But when we lost that pitchfork midline, now it is acting as resistance. You can see here, support, support, little deviation, but it held as support overall. Now we're losing it. Backtest rejection, backtest rejection. If we see another rejection here, we might continue pushing down to that 96.5K macro POC. And the thing with this macro POC is you can see it's going to be where our next major pitchfork band of support is. I mean, we do have the top of the band coming in around 99 up to 100, depending on how fast we flush down. But the bottom of the pitchfork band is going to be where that POC is. Between 96.6 and like 96.300. On Coinbase, it's closer to 96.6. I would like to see us close the daily candle today above this pitchfork midline, which is going to be coming in around 115.3 to 115.4. That's really what we want to see happen. Since we are so close to the CME gap fill at 111.3, do you think they might close it? Yeah, JB, it's a possibility, but we need the bulls to fight here. We need the bulls to step in and fight. We don't want to create that new low. We really need the bulls to kick in here and then start to continue to push us up higher. But because we are seeing this move down that started just at the beginning of the stream, we could be seeing a flat correction in here first. And once again, we just don't want to hit that golden pocket coming in at 112.3. If we hit that golden pocket, it's not going to be a good sign. Yeah, JB, Elliott waves are definitely complex, and there's a lot to Elliott waves. For me, you don't have to necessarily know how to use Elliott waves to trade and even to get like a bias of bullish or bearish, but it does just put the probabilities in your favor when you can count impulsive versus corrective price action. And that's what's really important for me. You don't have to know the minutia of complex corrections. You don't have to do that. But if you know that you're moving up, for instance, if you see a big, quick 5-wave flush to the downside, something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you got that 5-wave flush to the downside, you start to bounce from a support level. And on that bounce, you're seeing a 3-wave corrective move. And generally, you reject from that lower high golden pocket in a 3-wave corrective move up. Now you can say, oh, this is far more likely to continue down. And so that's where Elliott waves can really give you a good bias overall on bounces or on, on major support and resistance levels. If it's going to be a lower high coming in overall and continuation in the bearish trend, or if it's going to be a shifting trend. But if you're not familiar with Elliott waves, that's okay. Mark out your key levels of support and resistance. Put your, whatever you use to set that area. For me, I use boxes, green boxes for support, purple boxes for resistance, and be patient and wait for the market to get to you. If the market's coming up to your area of resistance and you are seeing confirmations on your oscillators to short, look for a short. You don't have to know if an Elliott wave count is ending here or not. It does help sometimes because, for instance, we have a triple 1-2 here, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. We have our big third wave, so you could be doing a 4, 5, 4, 5, and then a 4, 5 ending here in the third wave. But if we do something like, your 4, 5, 4, 5, now you're expecting one more high though. So a lot of people are going to short that first touch in here, and then you get one more 4, 5 coming up just to the top of the box, and they stopped out all those early shorters, and now after stopping them out, the impulse ends, and then you get your bigger corrective move down. So why doesn't the market like, what doesn't the market like? Haven't we been going down for a long time? I mean, it's not been that long. Really, it's just been like what, a couple months here, not even a couple months. It's been since October 6th. We've been kind of pushing down here. So I would say it's normal to see corrective moves, extended corrective moves like this within a larger bull cycle. And of course, we were at key resistance up here. We were at the top of a pitchfork band up here. We rejected the top of the pitchfork band. This crash was definitely kind of news-based and macroeconomic-based with the trade war stuff that was happening. But after you see that bearish break in market structure, we did see that bearish break in market structure. If we were looking up at this range, let me turn off some of these levels and clean up this chart. But if we were looking up at this range up here, we saw that we were hitting it into resistance. We had bear divs on the chart. Money flow was draining out of the asset. But once you took out these lows here, if we're looking at this sideways range, we had a range that was forming. And I would say it's generally this range here that was forming. Now, here's the thing. Once you took out those lows right here, it's a bearish break in market structure. Now, once you have a bearish break in market structure, by breaking those lows, now you have a greater probability of making a lower high and then continuing to make lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. So once we had that first break in market structure, now we could start to shift our biases. Okay, this impulse is over, and maybe now we are about to start a bigger correction to the downside. Now, did we expect it to be this fast and this volatile? No, we did not. Did we expect it to go that deep? In some ways, yes, we were. Remember, we were looking at that larger WXY complex correction in here. If we zoom out to our 4-hour chart, within this area, we were actually looking at this on the screen as a possibility of a larger, this was your W wave, this was your X wave, and now we were looking to come to take out those 107K lows in a Y wave, creating your bigger WXY with your X wave being a nice 3-wave corrective move in here. And then your Y wave also being that 3-wave corrective move there. So this could have been the lows. This could have been the lows. Now we really want to start to impulse up out of here. Mark Dutch, welcome in, man. Thank you so much for being here. Just looked under the hood. Everything's looking divine. All right. I love to hear it, Mark Dutch. Thank you for being here. Bearish trigger wave on the 2-hour. Could be a flush out before FOMC tomorrow. Convenient flush out before they cut rates and flip bullish. Yeah, I mean, we could be. And, we just generally tend to see a lot of volatility right before the FOMC meetings happen anyways. Guys, if you are not in positions with proper stop loss and risk management, be careful trading a day before FOMC or even on FOMC day. If you're a newer trader, I would recommend not to do FOMC trading days because the volatility can be really quite aggressive. And if you're not using proper risk management, you can destroy all your hard work in a single session just because of the volatility that often happens during these events. Okay, we're going to go into the Bitcoin dominance, and then I'll go into some of those altcoins that you guys posted in the chat. Yeah, dominance is pushing up here. Now, if you guys remember the last couple of weeks, let me just zoom out to the daily real quick. We'll do a larger perspective on this dominance. So if you remember, what we've been talking about on this channel, what I particularly have been talking about on this channel for quite a while now, is this bullish trend that Bitcoin has been in for a majority of the bull cycle. It has been in a multi-year long ascending channel trend, climbing higher and higher. Bitcoin was the star of this bull market, really ever since March of 2023. So over 2 years long now, going on to 2.5 years, 3 years. But once we broke market structure, first of all, we hit the top of the channel. Let me do that. We hit the top of the channel perfectly, and I was expecting a flush from this area. We got the flush from that area, and we flushed down. We bounced from the midline, but after taking out those highs, even though this is not per se liquidity grabs because BTC dominance, yes, you can trade them on some exchanges, but there's not really liquidity there, but you still get the same market psychology. So we took out the highs here, and once you took out the highs, you saw that reversal. What was really important here is we saw that first break in market structure. We broke market structure bearishly by breaking these lows. Now, we did bounce from the bottom of the channel. We tried to get above those prior lows. We couldn't, so we dropped back down. We broke even through our golden pocket, but we front ran the 786, which was really annoying to me. But now that we are pushing back up above our golden pocket here, we're pushing up. Let me get rid of that. And here's the thing. This is where TradingView is a little bit annoying because I said if we get back up above this golden pocket, then we have a high likelihood of continuing up to backtest our trend, our multi-year long trend, which is this trend here. So anytime you break a channel like this to the downside, you'll make some new lows. You'll often come up to backtest. If you do reject there, you can expect new lows to take out this low in here. If you can reclaim and get back inside of the channel, then you expect the trend to kind of get back to continue at least. And so we did not, even though the chart here on the 2-day is showing that we backtested that golden pocket in that channel, we actually didn't. If you go on any other time frame, like let's go on to the 12-hour time frame, you can see that we didn't quite push up to that golden pocket yet. If you go on to the 8-hour time frame, no push up to the golden pocket yet. Let me get rid of this here. So there's a possibility that Bitcoin dominance could continue to kind of keep rising in here until we push up to that golden pocket 786 area to backtest that trend. And then if we see that rejection there, I mean, this could be a really nice spot to look at buying some alts because if Bitcoin dominance is pushing up, alts will probably be bleeding. And if we reject in that area, I would expect alts to run for maybe a month or 2 months. Maybe one last push up on alts before the bear market starts. But overall, what I'm looking at now is that back test of our multi-year long trend to see whether we can confirm a macro rejection and trend reversal kind of in this area. So for now, Bitcoin dominance is kind of just continuing to grind here within this like ascending channel that we're seeing. Of course, the deviation with the big crash that happened. Okay, yeah, guys, before I go on to the altcoins, I just want to take a second to shout out the sponsors of the channel, the partners of the channel. So the main partner of the channel is BYDFI. They are a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you do sign up using my affiliate link, you can get a minimum of 20% discounts on trading fees, but you can actually earn up to 40% discounts on trading fees if you deposit some of the larger amounts of money into the exchange. But minimum 20% discounts on trading fees. They're offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses, depending on how much you trade in the futures markets. And they're offering some of the best initial deposit bonuses in the game. If you deposit just $100, you can earn a 50% deposit bonus, which is the highest on any exchange that I've seen. And they're offering various 10 to 20% deposit bonuses, depending on how, if you deposit larger amounts there. I have partnered with BYDFI to create a Telegram community where I do post my market analysis and my trade setups ahead of time. I try to let you guys know what I'm thinking, or if I see a good trade that I am really confident in, I'll post it ahead of time in the chat or let you guys know when I entered a long or short position. And to get into that Telegram community, it's free. All you need to do is sign up with BYDFI using my affiliate link and deposit at least $100 into the exchange. That $100 is still your money to trade with. You will get the bonus. You will get the discounts on trading fees, and you can get access to the Telegram group. So for me, it's a win-win for everyone. If you do deposit the $100, after you're done depositing the $100, click the Telegram link in the description of this video. Once you've clicked that Telegram link, in the Telegram, type in /verify and then your user ID, which will be right up here. It's probably going to be a string of letters and numbers, not like a custom name like this. But that'll get you access to that Telegram community. And once you're in, you're in. And we're trying to build something really great there where we have a bunch of great traders that help each other. And also I post my analysis and thoughts on the market as well. So if you're interested in that, links in the description for both BYDFI and the Telegram are below. Also, real quickly, guys, I want to take a second to talk about BYDFI. Starting in November, they're going to be doing a trading competition. Now, this is just an example of a trading competition. This one's already ended, but because we hit 3,000 subscribers on YouTube, thanks to you guys, the beautiful community that's here that supports me, we are doing a celebration of a launch of a competition where BYDFI has actually talked about how they're going to add $2,000 to a bonus prize pool. And then for every $1 million in volume that gets traded, that includes the leverage, then they will add an extra $100 to the prize. The event will run for 1 month. And looks like we're going to start it on November 5th. We're not 100% sure yet. But the top 5 traders, volume traders, will get 80% of the total prize money. So this could go up from 2K to 4K, depending on how much people trade within that competition. The prize money will keep going up and up and up. The top 5 traders will get 80% of the total prize. The remaining 20% will be randomly distributed to other traders among that competition, among that community. So very exciting thing that they're doing for this community. Really nice. You can win some extra money, bonuses. Also, you know, with the amount that you're trading, the volume that you're trading, you can earn the up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses as well. So if you guys are interested, sign up before November 5th. You guys can get into that trading competition. According to the campaign rules, more volume, more fat prize pool. So if you have a few whales in the game, consider about their volume. The total prize pool will be insane. Yeah, so that is going to be, looks like November 5th could be the start of that. We're not 100% concrete on that date yet, but we do want to do this for the community. I think it would be really awesome. Second partner of the channel is NAMI Trading. NAMI is a momentum and money flow indicator that I use for entry and exit confirmations on my trades. So if you're interested in purchasing NAMI, they're offering a 50% off discount to our community. Just click on my affiliate link in the description and type in Divine50 in the discount code, and that'll get you 50% off. For me, this is an invaluable tool to help me know whether to enter or exit a trade. And then lastly, we do have Bybit and MEXC, both great exchanges, both offering discounts on trading fees and futures bonus money, depending on how much you trade. Links are in the description if you want to sign up for either of those exchanges as well. So thank you guys so much for listening to that. Let's go ahead and get back onto the TA here. I'm going to check Bitcoin really quickly here. We'll do this. We'll make this easy. We will set an alert. It looks like we're going to come for this low, guys. We're right there. It looks like we're going to come for this low. we're so close to it. I imagine that there's no way we're going to reverse now here. Money flow doesn't look too good here. No bull divs locally. Not too good of a sign there. All right. Yeah, low time frame dump right now. Yep, we are seeing that dump. We really don't want to take out these lows at 113,483 on Coinbase, but it does look like we are going to. And remember, now that if we take out those lows, we can look at that 0.5 Fibonacci. So we're going to go from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3. We're going to turn on those wave 4 targets, but we'll just turn on the 0.5. So around 113K, 113,067, 068. We could be seeing a flat correction in here to hit that 0.5, and then we want to start to see impulsive price action out of here. That's kind of the last hope for this impulse to continue to play out since last Wednesday. Darren Does Things, welcome in, man. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, let's go ahead. The pick from your wedding, Divine. Man, there's no picks from no weddings. That's for sure. Let's go into some of the altcoins. Let me scroll up in the chat. We'll see what was here. Super. Okay, we'll check Super out real quick for Jaw Fuel. We'll go into ASTR. We'll go into AVE. Super. Now, Jaw Fuel, for the longest time on Super, me and you kind of have been waiting to take out those lows at 36.68. And I know last week in the live stream, the week before in the live stream, you were kind of asking me about, what do you think's up with Super? And now that we took out those range highs up here, double highs, we took out the range highs with the pump, and this pump happened weirdly right before the crash happened with Super. And now we've kind of fallen all the way back down to the bottom of our macro range, which this range here goes back to December of 2023, so almost 2 years long. We are at the bottom of the range, and we have taken out the liquidity of our lows of this entire range. Taken out our semi-equal lows, and that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for that. If we did see an SFP of that low with bull divs on the chart, then I was going to enter long there, and I am long on Super. I got in a little bit later, and maybe even plan to add to this on Super. We'll have to see how this looks here. But we did take out those range lows, a nice daily SFP here. You can see that daily SFP of the range lows. And what we're trying to do now is we're trying to push back up inside the volume profile. So took out the range lows, liquidity grab. What we want to see on the daily time frame is a push back up and a back test of this value area low to confirm reacceptance back within this volume profile. If we can confirm reacceptance with the bull divs we're having on the daily, we might be able to get a move all the way up to this daily, weekly POC level around 59 to 61 cents. And for me, that would be a really great move to the upside, long position to the upside there. But if we zoom in here and we look at, let's just go onto our hourly chart, and we look at kind of this range that has formed since the big crash. This was our big crash day that happened. And if we look at this sideways range that's kind of forming here, we can also look at this volume profile. And I'm just going to pull up from the lows there because that was kind of part of the impulse down. You can see that we did reject the POC of the range earlier on the weekend, and now we're coming down to retest that value area low. I don't like so much how this was a three-wave corrective move here. It's starting to look a little bit three-wavy in here as a corrective move, and that means that we could come back down. But as far as bottoming reversal patterns, we know that we had a major daily swing failure pattern of a macro range low. Okay, Bitcoin's crossing. I'll look at that in just a second. So we had the swing failure pattern of the major range low, but you can see here we might be forming that, what you would say, inverse head and shoulders, or a model 2 accumulation in here. And then if we can get back above that value area low of our macro 2-year long range, which is coming in around 45 cents, we could push up much, much further here. Actually, it's not 45 cents. It is pretty much what we're back testing right now, 39 cents. Trying to back test it right now. So we pushed up above it. We closed the daily candle above it. And now we're in the process of either back testing this value area low to continue pushing up at least locally to our value area high in our super local range, or we're going to start to really impulse up out of here and maybe make our way all the way up to that 59 to 61 cent area, which would be our next major resistance area in this. Now, if we now close a daily candle like today's candle, if we close it below the macro value area low at 39.47, let's just say pretty much right where we're at now, or below our golden pocket, I would say. Let's go to the hourly chart. And from those lows to the highs that we made over the weekend. Now, remember, these are weekend highs. Weekend highs often get taken out, but we turn on that golden pocket. That golden pocket is right below the value area low where we're coming in right now. You can see it's the value area low of this local range. And let me just do this and see if that changes anything. Yeah, that does shift your value area low down a little bit. But to me, this is part of the impulse down. So I'm not looking at that. But this value area low golden pocket is going to be our local support level. So if you missed the swing failure pattern, or if you didn't get in within this little range, this is where I got in. I got in somewhere within here. Then you're going to want, you have another opportunity if you're bullish on this to look for a long from this golden pocket, and then we could start to see that impulsive price action kick in. Now, if we're going to long this golden pocket here, we want to see bull divs coming down into that golden pocket. So look on the hourly. Are we seeing bull divs? Not really. We did see some bull divs between these two lows. You can see those bull divs there, those bull divs there. But now we are breaking down, and we're just crossing over into the red. We're in the red on NAMI, and we're not seeing bull divs on the hourly because we would want to see another drive of bull divs. It's still possible, actually, that we could see another drive of bull divs here. We would have to flush down really quickly, and then we would have to come back up. But if we, so potential bull divs into that 1 hour, or potential 1 hour bull divs into that golden pocket. Let's go in on to the 15-minute chart. Do we see any bull divs here? Not really. And this is what's a little bit concerning to me. You can see this momentum wave is now coming lower than this momentum wave here. And also on NAMI, no local bull divs. Money flow is just crossing into the red on Market Cipher B, and it's draining even more on NAMI. Not looking too good here, guys. And the thing is, Jaffiel, with this super, after grabbing that liquidity, now we can actually start to look at this as a, like kind of a three-wave corrective move up here. And if that was just a three-wave corrective move up instead of a five-wave impulse, then we can probably expect new lows even to come in again. And then if we look at, because I was also looking at this as similar to Bitcoin with a bunch of 1-2s, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. And then you got your last 1-2, you push up in a third wave. We would have wanted to see some 4-5s in here. The grind towards the beginning, your big impulse in the middle, and the grind towards the end. But because we've now come down and hit that golden pocket, let me do this from, we've hit that golden pocket, or even if you want to pull it from this low here, because that could be acceptable too. Since we've hit that golden pocket, now you can no longer say that this is a fourth wave corrective move. You can't say that this is a three-wave corrective move anymore, or a three-wave corrective move. But now it's more likely to kind of, even if it's going to be a correction, a bigger, larger correction, possibly more downside to come. So unfortunately, super had its opportunity to kind of break up, and it's failing along with a lot of the market here. I'm going to check Bitcoin real quick. Okay, we're coming down to that 0.5 now. I now have gotten stopped out of that long position. I longed from 113,800-ish yesterday. I've now got stopped out because my stop was below that low. You don't win them all, guys. It's about risk management and proper position size. but we are attempting to hold this. Now, remember, let's turn on the golden pocket here, because not even the golden pocket, just the 618. If you hit this 618 at 112,279 on Coinbase, it is going to invalidate this impulse from last Wednesday. We do not want to come down and hit this. Okay, we got ASTR, and then we've got Aave and Tau. Yeah, best to sleep of next few days, for the next few days, not trade, guys. That is what Crypto Pleb is saying. Crypto Pleb, welcome in, man. Thank you for joining. Check out ETH BTC chart if you have time. Could be signaling alt season. One last pump to end the 4-year cycle. Yeah, Caleb, we'll definitely check that out. 70K BTC. Machi HK, are you really thinking that low? And welcome in, Machi HK. It's good to see you, man. Let me know, are you thinking that low? Like, I really don't see 70, unless we're going into bear market territory. 70K is not only probable, but lower is probable. But if we're not going into bear market territory just yet, then 70K is a little bit low for me. I still think, as far as macro price action goes, let me zoom out onto the daily time frame, and I'm going to go ahead. Let's just hide this for a second. Let's get rid of this. What I think we could be seeing still, one more new all-time high, but if we look at that volume profile of the 2025 range, our macro range, we are, okay, now we're above, or we're below the value area high. But if we look at pulling it, yeah, I guess that changes things quite a bit. I mean, we are back inside this volume profile. Not a good thing to see. And because we've spent so much time now back within inside of it, it is in some ways confirming reacceptance back within the volume profile, which means that we could move down to the POC, which once again is around that 96.6 to 96.5. And if we don't hold that, then the value area low coming in around 92K, 92.5. So we'll have to see. And then if we lose 92.5, that's going to be a big red flag for me, that this could be the start of coming down and at least taking out your 74K lows. So major levels before then, but yeah, Machi HK, I could see us coming down to 70K. Morpheus, 97K. I don't know if I would say it's inevitable, but it is looking like Bitcoin does want to drop here. Now, here's the thing, guys. We're on the daily time frame, and here, look at this anchored VWAP from 74K. This is very, very key. If we are going to maintain our overall macro bullish sentiment on Bitcoin, we want to stay above this. You'll back test it. If it holds and you get that nice bottoming reversal pattern, which is possible that we're seeing right now, you could get that nice push up to continue up to make new all-time highs here. But if we start to flip this anchored VWAP and close daily candles down below the anchored VWAP, it is going to signal a possible macro trend reversal where we could see months of downside price action, like something like this, months of downside price action. We really do not want to lose that 108K support level. It's about 107.3, 107.4 to about 108K, which is where our golden pocket is. Yeah, 92 could be coming though. First we have 96.5. I think that's going to be a very important support. That's considered fair value for the coin of Bitcoin for the entire year of 2025. So if the market is overall going to remain bullish on Bitcoin for 2026, then when we do come down to that fair value, you will have major players willing to buy at fair value that should hold it and support it, and we can at least get a decent push up from that. Now, it's not, as we know, we don't want to buy things when they're at fair value. We want to buy things when they're on sale. And sale price for Bitcoin, according to 2025's volume profile, is going to be around that 92K, 92.5 in that general area. And it is a different, depending on which exchange you pull. If we look at Bitcoin, the range on, let me just pull it from here, on Bybit, 96.3 is where the POC is, and then that value area low is 93.1 to 93.2. Another thing that I want to show you now that we have this chart pulled up, we have our anchored VWAP from the 49K lows. Now, this was our range lows of last year's accumulation range. This range was an 8-month long range for most of 2024, while we were kind of in a holding pattern waiting for the election to play out, the US election. So the anchored VWAP from our key range lows of last year, look at where that anchored VWAP is now coming in at. If you trace that up, that is coming in right around your POC. And by the time we drop down there, if it's going to be kind of this grindiness that we see and, bounce, maybe grabbing the lows, coming down to it, this anchored VWAP can kind of work its way up to that POC right as we're coming down there. And that will be very, very strong volume support. Because if you're going to flip from the higher low, from the 74K lows, if you're going to flip that anchored VWAP bearish, then you might be able to move down to the next anchored VWAP from the next major low, which would be that one, 49K low. One thing that did concern me here, guys, is this rejection here on the all-time high. We rejected the pitchfork midline perfectly. Now, this pitchfork, for those of you that are new on the stream, I'm going to zoom out here and I'm going to show you this pitchfork. This pitchfork has been really a great instrument and tool guiding us in the entire bull market. If we look, this is pulled from our prior cycles. So if we look at the COVID crash lows, those important crash lows in COVID, up to our 65K highs, which really was kind of the high of the cycle as far as volume goes, as far as money flow goes. It was the high of our last cycle. And then down to our bear market lows. You can see how well on macro timeframes this pitchfork has been respected. Rejected the lower band, nice move down, but made a higher low, rejected the upper band, sideways correction in here. That was a flat correction. Then you break above the band, you backtest the band, you flip it to support, you continue up to the midline. The midline was our 2024 all-time high. We corrected all the way back down to backtest the band again. We held the backtest of the band a second time. You push up and you finally break through that midline, but we got a distribution range. Once we got above that midline, that's where this distribution range occurred. Once we lost that midline, if I come in here, once we lost that midline, we back tested that midline. You see, we started closing, no daily candle closes below for all the way through here for months. We started closing daily candles, and I made a video about this. As soon as we started closing daily candles in here below, I made a video warning of possible distribution, and you guys can go check that out on the channel if you want to see that. Just type in like Wyckoff distribution on my Divine Hoods channel. You can see that. But we chopped for a few days sideways. We back tested that midline and we rejected. So yeah, we expected to move down. And this golden pocket wasn't there. This golden pocket's a new golden pocket that I pulled. But we did front run a very key golden pocket. If we pull a golden pocket from those 49K lows up to that all-time high, and we turn on that golden pocket, we did front run a very, very key golden pocket at 70K, 72 to 70K, which was also the value area high of this previous range. You can see that value area high right there in perfect alignment with that golden pocket. So I was thinking when we were down in here, I was thinking we were going to drop a little bit lower, but we didn't. Now, why did we stop where we stopped? I mean, there was some naked weekly points of control down here as well. But if we look at our pitchfork pulled from this cycle, we stopped there because we hit our lower band. We rejected the top of the pitchfork. Hold on, let me get rid of this. We rejected the top of the pitchfork, chopped around the band, no daily candle closes. We saw wickage, but no daily candle closes. But once again, just like the midline on this one, once we started closing daily candles below the midline, we got the drop. On this guy here, once we started closing daily candles below the band, backtest the band, you dropped. And we dropped this here, this little flat correction here was from a Trump tweet about the Bitcoin reserve. So it was a little bit manipulated. But once we dropped through the midline, 1 backtest, 2 backtests, 3 backtests, could not get back above the midline, so you dropped to the lower band. And that is something that we're kind of looking at right now. We did bounce from that lower band, but if we go back to our more macro pitchfork, pulled for multi-cycle pitchfork, what I'm concerned about is once we bounce from the lower band of this cycle's pitchfork, our wave 3, we've rejected now. This was kind of a failed auction above it. We rejected it again. Remember, 3 taps, 3 rejections. Then we dropped right here. It was 3 rejections in here, and then you drop to the next major level of pitchfork support. So are we seeing now here 3 rejections, and are we going to drop all the way down to either 79K or potentially all the way down to that 70K area, 71 to 70 to 72K, where if we do look at the new golden pocket pulled from the 49K lows up to our all-time highs, look at where our golden pocket is coming in at, 76 to 78K. Now, let me double check something here. I think this is going to be, so because this is more than a 100% move to the upside, we're going to take this golden pocket and we're using a log chart, so we're going to click it to log scale. So your actual golden pocket, your actual 61% retracement, look at where your golden pocket is coming in at the bottom of the pitchfork band. And if you reject the midline multiple times, we could see an aggressive flush down over the next few months to come down to hit the bottom of the pitchfork in confluence with that golden pocket. And that would also be right around your value area high of your 2024 range. So in a bearish scenario, we could absolutely come down to 70K. Absolutely. We will see nice bounces along the way. We will see a nice bounce at 96.5, where that upper range POC is. But that it might be this. So let me pull that range real quick. There's your POC, and we might be seeing something like this. If we're going to come up here, we're going to reject the value area high, now confirming reacceptance back within our volume profile for 2025. Now we're going to come down to the POC. We're going to bounce here, but you're going to see a 3-wave corrective move making a lower high pulled from the all-time high to those lows. And we can just do a little experiment on this actually right now. This is completely theoretical right now, but if we pull a Fibonacci golden pocket from the all-time high down to our POC, let me just throw it right there. We can expect maybe a bounce, if we're going to continue doing this, a bounce from the POC only to come up to your golden pocket, reject that golden pocket, continue down to value area low, bounce, maybe even just bounce up to POC, reject POC, and continue flushing down here to where potentially we come down to that, 68 to 70K area. It's not something we really want to see. Personally, me, I want Bitcoin to make one more new all-time high before getting that big flush. But that is kind of scary, you guys. It's kind of scary to see that this is potentially developing. And the reason why I think that is because we do have our big bear divs on the chart. We also have those money flow bear divs on the chart on high time frames. As this entire 2025 price action has been developing, here you can see bear divs, money flow bear divs. It just looks like we could be seeing a big drop. Yeah, Abir, I talked about 108K before you entered the stream. I am definitely looking at 108K as a support level. Wow, are we starting to dump? Yeah. Dang. Okay, guys, this is a new development happening here on Bitcoin. Did we hit the golden pocket? Not quite yet. Actually, let me... Still haven't hit the golden pocket, but if we hit this, it's going to invalidate this as a triple 1-2. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. There's your big third wave. We do not want our fourth wave to hit that golden pocket, or it's going to invalidate the impulse to the upside, at least from last Wednesday's lows. Now we would have to be looking at this as a larger potential 3-wave corrective move, rejecting your pitchfork lower band. If we lose the pitchfork again, yeah, we're coming down to 108K. I've actually got to check Give me just a second, guys. I'm going to check some of my trades on the alts that I'm in. I just want to make sure. Okay, dang. I got stopped out on a couple of them. Andrew, welcome in, man. It's good to see you here. Okay, let's get into some of the altcoins, guys. I'm going to set an alert. Near that golden pocket. And we'll see if we hit that golden pocket, but it's looking likely now. Unfortunately, it's looking like we could get. Let me check something real quick here. All right, we are hitting our 1.236 Fibonacci extinction. So this still could be a corrective move. And now we want to push up, but we cannot hit this golden pocket. We need to push up right now from this 1.236. Liquidated on everything. Oh no, Grotto Easy. I hope that's a joke. Really, you should never be getting liquidated on anything. You should be using now stopped out. Yes, I just got stopped out on a couple trades, but you should always be setting your stop loss ahead of time before your liquidation price. I mean, obviously before your liquidation price. Jawfeel, you shorted super at 41 cents. No, I'm not in any short positions. I missed that swing failure pattern yesterday on Bitcoin. And I was also, my bias locally was bullish for this impulse to continue up. So I am not short on anything. Why'd I do that? All right. What's up, Crypto Wanderer? Welcome in, man. Okay, I'm going to go into some of those altcoins real quick that some people requested, and then we will, I'll go into Solana, I'll go into ASTR, I will go into AVAX. I believe it was this one here. Yeah, ASTR. Okay, so on ASTR, we were kind of chopping around within this triangle here, but you can see we lost the triangle. Backtested, rejected, backtested, rejected, backtested, rejected, and now we're kind of dropping here. So we might now come down, and let me see if that's a new daily level there. But we're also losing. Not losing the value area low, but we're still within the volume profile. I can get rid of this now. I can get rid of this now. Ooh. Yeah, we're just rotating within this volume profile, but what we could be looking at here, I mean, we got so close to taking out our crash lows here that we might be coming back down to kind of take out both those lows together before making a push up on ASTR. I think this is the one that I was looking at, a larger impulse to the downside. Got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flat. 3, your 4, your 5. So there's a potential that the low could be in here, but I don't like it here because that would be a truncated fifth wave. If you're looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, your fifth wave here, you want to take out the lows of wave 3. And we did not take out the lows with this little guy here. I mean, here's the thing. If we did come down and take out the lows one more time, a quick flush to come take out those lows, we would be developing some very nice bull divs on the chart. Money flow coming to the upside here on the 4-hour time frame. So, man, I would love that. Actually, I'm right now going to set an alert here. Long if there's divs still on that. But as far as ASTR goes, we're kind of in this bottoming range. You could even pull this volume profile to right before the crash happened. But for me, I'm looking more at this little range in here. Now, this range is also nice. You can see that your golden pocket, and actually we need to shift that, from the range highs to the range lows, your golden pocket's going to be coming in right around the value area high. And then, of course, you have that naked weekly and naked daily point of control around your 786. Before we do that, let's look at our fresh levels here. I don't know when the last time I checked this. So, yeah, that is a fresh daily level at 95.4. And it looks like over the weekend we rejected from a daily level. Okay, nothing there. And let's look at our naked daily points of controls. Man, it's really interesting that on the push up that we made today, we did not hit the naked daily point of control. You can see that that naked daily was not hit. Let me just go on to the hourly and see if it was hit on the hourly. No, it was not. So we have SFP of today's highs into a naked daily point of control possible. If we do see a bounce like here, then we could come up here and reject from that and just continue to kind of range within this range for a bit. But I like this kind of bottoming price action we're seeing if you don't include the crash wick, which on every exchange it was different. I'm looking at Bybit because Coinbase does not have ASTR. Let's pull that Fibonacci from the lows to the highs that we made here. Yeah, we've already bounced from Golden Pocket. You can see that's where this was. So we've already bounced from Golden Pocket. Now, after bouncing from Golden Pocket, very locally, we did take out the highs. We switched market structure bullishly by taking out this high. So that was a bullish market structure break. So because we broke market structure, you can see here we were in a downtrend. A low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? That was your bearish market structure. Now, because we've broken that high here, we can say, okay, maybe the trend is about to reverse to a bullish market structure locally. So now we can say high. Are we going to see a higher low before seeing another higher high here? And if we're going to look at that higher low, well, where are we going to look? You're primarily going to look at the golden pocket. So we're going to pull a golden pocket from the lows to the highs that we made earlier today. We're coming to that golden pocket as we speak right now. Now, I believe our naked daily point of control is right below that. So I would be looking in this general area of support. We might be able to get a bounce from this general area on ASTR right now. This could be our support level that we're looking at right now. If we are going to create a higher low and bounce, this is it. I would look at the naked daily, though. I'd want to hit that naked daily kind of. So a little bit of a wick past the golden pocket to hit that naked daily. And then you could bounce. And the only reason I'm suggesting this is the support levels because we took out this high earlier today. So now it could be the shift in market structure. Okay, let's now look. Are we seeing any bull divs on the chart? Let's go to the 15-minute chart. No real bull divs, but money flow doesn't look the worst here. Let's go ahead and look at 6-minute chart. No bull divs. Money flows in the red, crossing. So let's go a little bit lower. What would actually be really nice, yeah, money flow in the red coming out on 3-minute as well. What would actually be really nice right now to see on ASTR is, yep, a little bit of a bounce here. And then one more push down, and that would allow us to create those bull divs. So we would do this, and then this, and then the money flow hopefully by then would be bottoming out here and starting to come up. And just kind of like you're seeing right here already on NAMI. So NAMI's already showing bull divs on the 3-minute. This is just a 3-minute time frame. But coming a little bit lower to hit that naked daily would be so nice. And if we want to see a little bit of a push up first and then do that. And then that could be a nice little local scalp long entry to take out the highs into that naked daily above us. There was a naked daily point of control above us there. So if we're going to look at trading that, what I would be doing here, long position, I would wait until we bounce from the naked daily, and I would long probably if we get above the golden pocket. So your stop is going to go below that naked daily, and I would be targeting the SFP into this naked daily. That's a nice little scalp trade just for a day or two. 7.8 risk to reward ratio. You'd obviously calculate your position size based off this here. But that's what I would say for ASTR. Now, if we lose this golden pocket here, it's not going to look good at all. If we lose the golden pocket, then I think at the very least, we are going to come down and take out your kind of semi-equal lows. Here at 103.79. Because they're equal lows here, at least on Bybit. So lose this, come down here. Okay, let's check the chat here. How to trade now? I mean, we're looking for trades, but here's the thing. I'm not going to force a trade open just because we're live. If we do find, like ASTR, for instance, I didn't see enough confirmation to long right now, but we are in a zone where it's acceptable to long, but I don't have confirmation. So I'm not going to enter that just because I'm live on a stream. But if we continue, like I said, if we see that little small bounce and then get another push down to hit that naked daily point of control below us, we'll set an alert there. Maybe we can enter this trade live if we see confirmation, but I'm not going to enter it just for the sake of entering because I'm live. I want to still use proper risk management whether I'm alive or not live. Got stopped out on a couple trades as well. Got greedy, didn't take profits. Turned a green trade into a red one. Dang. Frankfurt, welcome in, man. Thank you for being here. As a janitor at the gym, I felt Gymshark protection the kids, but as a person wanted for team to get Nike spoon. Okay. Yep. MGA, absolutely. You're welcome for the TA. What is the trading strategy now? Well, for now, I'm still remaining bullish until we hit that golden pocket. We have not hit it yet. We are so close to it. I think we're going to hit it. Guys, in all likelihood, we're going to hit that golden pocket, therefore invalidating the impulse. But so far, we have not hit it, and we are at our 1.236 Fibonacci support. If this is going to be a 3-wave corrective move down, and then a push up, then we have to push up from where we're at right now. And if we come just a smidgen lower, it's going to invalidate it. And that means that, yes, we still might bounce from this area, but I'll be expecting a lower high before another lower low. Fat Boy, welcome in. And absolutely, you're welcome for the TA as well. I'm going to go into Solana right now. And then we'll go into some of the other ones. We want to see the weekend lows taken and price to be dropping into tomorrow's news event. Yeah, Andrew, this could be a trap they're setting too as well. The market makers getting everyone to short today, bullishness, bearishness, and then pump it tomorrow. So, okay, let's go into Sol real quick. Solana, guys, is... Dang, we're dumping back inside the volume profile, which is not a good thing. So what I was looking at on Solana is you can see this local volume profile. We were breaking out of the value area high of this volume profile. This is just since the crash happened, since the crash ended. We were chopping around sideways in here. We were attempting to break out of the value area high, back test it, back test it, back test it. And then I wanted to see a push up to this 213-ish level. 213, 214 to take out your range highs. And you can see I have an alert set there already for a potential short there. But now we are failing and we're breaking back inside the volume profile. The thing with Solana is this was the dump lows, and we came so close to those dump lows a week later on Friday that it's not likely that we're going to leave that liquidity. We're going to get so close to taking out that liquidity and leave it there. And so I was concerned about if we do dump back inside this volume profile, which now we are starting to, we could see a move down. Now, this is a local support level that I laid out, 185-ish. We could see a bounce from there just to come up here and then continue working and filling in that volume profile. But remember, below us, we have our major pitchfork bottom coming in here. And so if we SFP the lows, we rejected the top of the pitchfork. Now, if you guys were live with me a month ago, I was telling everyone, be careful here. We're at the top of a major pitchfork. We came up, hit it was a weekly level up here at 252. We hit the weekly, and it was also a 786 macro Fibonacci pull. It was a 786 Fibonacci pull from the all-time high down to your $96 lows. Actually, let's just show you that. And it was also a weekly level up there, guys, and we were rejecting that. It was also the top of the pitchfork. And remember, altcoins often retrace to the 786. So it was our 786, and it was a weekly level, and it was the top of the pitchfork. Boom, rejected that. Now, once you reject the top of the pitchfork, if you fall back inside the pitchfork, you can expect to move down. Now, we got a quick flush down to the midline. We bounced from the midline. We came back up to the upper band. We chopped around, formed a range in the bands like I often say we do. We form range in the band. We overall rejected the band. We couldn't get back above it. We lost it. We back tested it. Now, I was making a video on this day. If you go watch the video and go click on the timestamp for Solana, when we were right here, I was making my video that Wednesday, and I said, guys, this could be a major rejection. We could be about to make new lows. We did reject that. We fell through the pitchfork midline this time, and we came down to the lower band. Now, once we came down to the lower band, we've been forming that kind of range between the midline and the lower band. You can see we bounced from the lower band, a little bit of wickage past it, but overall, bounced from the lower part of the band, moved up to the midline, rejected the midline, rejected the midline, rejected the midline. Once again, that 3 rejections, dropped down again, but we did not take out our lows. So bad that we did not take out our lows. And what I'm concerned about now is, yes, we are getting above this pitchfork band, this lower pitchfork band, and that's why this could hold as support here. Let me move this over. This could hold as support in this box here. But, I mean, important. If we look at our macro volume profile, major range volume profile, so that is this range that goes back to March of 2024. Your highs in March of 2024. You can see we've been forming this upper range after seeing giant impulse since March of 2024. We've been ranging sideways relatively. And if what's happening right now, actually, this is highly important. Let me just hide some of this stuff here, because if we close our weekly candle underneath this let's say $201 area, we can maybe suspect we could move all the way down to 145. Because what happened here, this is our macro volume profile that goes a year and a half, almost 2 years long, year and 9 months. We were finding resistance at the value area high. We broke out, we back tested it, we came up and we rejected from a major 786, a weekly level up here, and the top of our pitchfork. Now, if we lose our pitchfork, that's kind of our bullish structure, our bullish sentiment. If we lose 170, I mean, we have an SFP at 155, and you might get a small bounce from there, but I would suspect we're going to move down to 145. But we're back inside of our volume profile now. You can see this was failed auction price action. So we attempted to break out of the volume profile. And generally, if you break out, you might come take out your highs, which in this case is the all-time high. But we did reject the 786. And now we are falling back inside of our volume profile, because if we close our weekly candle back inside of this volume profile underneath 201, we could continue dropping down until we hit 145, see a bounce from there, Now, if we bounce from 145, that doesn't mean that's going to be the ultimate low and we're going to new all-time highs. We could bounce from 145 only to come all the way back up to 200 and reject it again, and then continue down to 125, where your value area low is, where there's liquidity, major liquidity. But if we close, you can see we're on the daily time frame. So we've already closed one daily candle back inside this volume profile. I mean, not one. We've closed weeks back with inside of it. Since the crash happened, we've been back inside of it. And when you form a range back inside your volume profile, the market is either going to, this is our holding pattern range, a reset after the biggest crash in crypto history for altcoins anyways. And so the market is trying to decide whether macro sentiment is going to remain bullish and we're going to break back out and continue the bullish price action, or the market is trying to decide, okay, the major crash happened, the reset kind of happened, we flushed out a lot of leverage, but this range is a very, very important range that forms because it's either going to decide, okay, no, the bearish sentiment's got to continue. We're going to actually find reacceptance back within the volume profile, and now we're going to see a downtrend. So already a daily rejection yesterday, and if we close this red candle today, a bearish engulfing candle, not looking good here. It's not looking good, and we might see that flush to continue down on Solana. I do have to say, on Solana, as this was developing, these major highs here, bear divs, but it was only when your money flow kind of topped out and started coming to the downside that you now started getting the larger downtrend. And that's exactly what could be happening right now. If we look at this, this was a nice three-wave corrective move, and we did bounce exactly from our support level that we were supposed to bounce from. That's why I had that green box there. It was multiple confluences of support, but this green box was laid out really since September 25th, right around in this area. I laid it out. And if we look at our trend-based Fibonacci extinction, you can see if we were just going to get a three-wave corrective move, where do we bounce from? Our 1-to-1 Fibonacci, which in a three-wave corrective move, most common to bounce between the 1-to-1 and the 1.236. So this would have been nice if we did this and bounced and then started to impulse up, but we're not. We're starting to form a range underneath, which is not a good sign. Now, this range is still a kind of the market deciding, and it could be a sideways corrective range, and then we could decide to push back up here. That's what you need to see. If you're bullish, you need to see that if you want to have a macro bullish sentiment. But I just don't like how we front ran the lows here. And I don't like a couple things about Solana that we're seeing. And I do think we could see some more downside, unfortunately, on Solana. If we zoom in now and we look at our range that's formed for the past couple of weeks. So I'm going to turn off the macro range. And I'm going to look at that range that's formed since after the crash happened. Why I was locally expecting at least a little higher locally was because we were holding above the value area high of the range. But now with this last couple hours, we're back inside the volume profile. So what I'm looking at now is a potential move down to our support, our local support level here between 186 and 185, where I believe there was, first of all, your golden pockets there. If you pull a golden pocket from Wednesday's lows to the highs, golden pockets in that general area. Actually, it's higher. Let's see, what was that then? That was our weekly's at that golden pocket too. So that actually is going to be a nice 188. Let's say 188 could be a nice little bounce area. But there was some volume levels there, I believe. And we're coming up to a naked weekly right now. Okay, what was there? It was the bottom of the pitchfork. I believe maybe the value area low was there at one point. All right, so I would shift this box up, actually. I would shift this box up here. Weekly golden pocket at 188. 188 to 187 is what you're going to want to see. A bounce from that local area. Liquidity, you have this internal liquidity trail right here that you could take that. And that is just in the scenario that we're going to just keep chopping around within this range. But I would like to come take out our range highs. even if we're going to see that bigger dump down. Okay, let me check the chat here. Could be a pullback to 94.3K, which is the golden pocket between 74.5 and the all-time high. Let me check what you're talking about there. Between 74K and the all-time high. So, but here's the thing. 94K, you're right, and that's right where your value area low is. That's a nice support level. But remember, this move, let's see if this was more than a 100% move. From 74, that's only 69%. Yeah, so actually that is a very nice support level. Yeah, very, very nice support level, Graham. I would look at a bounce at 96.5 before 96.6, 96.5. But yes, if we do, then now that we are potentially finding reacceptance back inside of our, just like I explained just now on Solana, because we are potentially finding reacceptance back inside the volume profile, you might be able to fill it in full. Bounce here, reject. And that could be the next couple months for Bitcoin. Is something like this, continuing the downtrend of lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Now, we did take out the high there, but you could be looking at this then. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Something, you know, so back inside your volume profile. Not good. Super has the value area low and the 786 around 37.5. Maybe that's the last chance before lower. Yeah, that golden pocket 786 is the area we need to hold, Jopfiel, that I just explained. That local, you know which one I'm talking about. You've got it right there. So that 37.5, 38 cent area where the golden pocket is to the 786. Okay, what was next? Solana, we had to do Aave. And then I'll go into AVAX as well. So here's the thing with Aave, guys. And I know I don't keep an object tree for this coin, so the chart is going to be kind of messy here. But what did we see here, guys? We were in a range up here for months. We lost the range in the big crash. We came down to a weekly level, which was really nice. Bounce from that weekly, bounce from pretty much the bottom band of the pitchfork. But on the rise up, on the dead cat bounce up, you can see we rejected the value area low. Let me get rid of this guy. You can see there, we rejected that value area low, and we rejected our two prior lows here. Actually, let me get rid of this guy. We rejected our prior lows and the value area low of your range, which means that the bearish sentiment is likely to continue downwards. Because if you're in a range, you lose that range, you come up for a bearish backtest and reject, then you can expect the downtrend to continue. Now, I don't know if it's going to continue to take out these lows. Like, that was obviously a wild circumstance where the markets crashed really hard. But overall, because we did reject our prior lows and the value area low of the range, and even if you pull this entire thing, we're rejecting value area low yesterday, we now can expect to continue down. I would expect if we lose this pitchfork band we're trading in right now, then I would expect to move down to the midline, around 185-ish, 185 to 187. So now let's zoom in and let's look at our little local range. This is the local range we're going to be looking at now. I'm going to pull a volume profile, not including that giant wick. That giant wick is part of an impulse down. So right after it ended, yeah, we rejected the value area high this weekend. And we're losing the POC, which was, you can see at the top of the pitchfork band. So now we're bouncing from we're at the weekly support level. Let me just make sure that is actually a fresh weekly. No, it's not. So we can get rid of that. Yeah, rejected value area high. You're below your POC. We could be moving down to the value area low here. Let's pull a Fibonacci from the lows of the range to the highs that we made this Sunday. Golden pocket there is some liquidity resting into that golden pocket, but your 786 is going to be a lot nicer because it's where the value area low is. Let's look at our volume levels within here. Do we have any naked daily points of control? Let's let this load up here. Yeah. So this naked daily point of control down here is nice. And the reason I say that is because we have liquidity. So I'm just going to mark out 2 naked dailies real quick. And then we will look at that golden pocket 786 again. So let me turn this to golden pocket 786. So a couple things here. This value area low 786 is a nice little support level, but you could be seeing a wick past it to hit that naked daily and then ultimately close the candle body kind of in this general area here. Very similar to what happened right here. You wicked past it, but you closed the candle body right in this general area. So we would want to see a repeat of that in some ways. Now, before that, you do have a naked daily point of control front running your golden pocket. I don't like how it's front running it. Yes, volume levels are important, and this naked daily point of control could bounce us because you do have this liquidity right into that naked daily level. But to me, I would be looking for lower because we would kind of be rejecting the pitchfork band. At least coming down to the bottom of the range, I'd be looking at coming down to the bottom of the range because you rejected value area high as well. And if you bounce from 212 to about 208, 212 to 208 could be a nice little support level. We did have bear divs here. Money flows draining out, just crossing into the red on the 2-hour. It does look like AVE is going to continue down locally. I mean, at least to hit your naked daily point of control at 221.5. But if we lose the value area low and do not bounce from this naked daily, like if we lose this general box of support right in here, then I think we're going to drop down to our pitchfork midline. Because you'd be losing that band. You'd be losing the pitchfork band, and that would mean maybe another major drop down to the midline. Okay, AVAX. All right, AVAX is losing its value. Okay, never mind. We shifted the value area low. What I don't like what we're seeing here, guys, is a lot of what looks like 3-wave corrective moves here. And now we could come down to take out the lows again, even if it's just coming down to the pitchfork band at $18. We rejected our macro golden pocket in confluence with our upper band. And actually, this is what is scary on AVAX, guys. Look at this push down so far that we've seen. Let me hide this volume profile real quick. This looks like an impulse down to me, a very clean impulse, actually. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Now we're in a wave 4. That was your wave 4. Now we could expect a wave 5 pushing down to take out those lows and coming down to 16.5, just like I talked about in the last stream. That would be my ultimate level. If we SFP the crash lows into the weekly and the bottom of the pitchfork band. We rejected the top of the pitchfork band. We lost the midline. So now it's likely we come down to the pitchfork band. The top of the pitchfork band is at $18. The bottom of the pitchfork band is right around 16.5. To me, that's the ultimate level to bounce from. You can see I have alerts set all over the place down there. If we do complete this 5-wave impulse down, and bounce from 16.5. I will be looking for longs from there. Swing longs, but not up to new all-time highs, just swing longs down like that, you know, your 5-wave impulse down. And then I would be looking, and of course your 3 is just so quick because it was so aggressive. And but then I would be looking for at least a 3-wave corrective move, potentially up to the midline, your pitchfork midline in here, or to your wherever your golden pocket is going to be. You can pull that golden pocket from the highs. Let's just put it at the 16.5. Let's put it on golden pocket, and then we're going to need to make it based off log scale. Yeah, so you have your golden pocket coming up, and actually that's a really key level, that $27 level, because look, it's also a very important support resistance flip in here. Resistance, 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 support. So now it could act as a resistance again. Support resistance flip thing. You could even pull this more. Resistance, 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 resistance. Break above it, support. Now that we've broken below it, it could act as resistance again. So a long trade for me from 16.5 to 26, 27 would be really nice. Let's see. We'll make our SR flips red like they are in my other. Tuna melt. We have not looked at ETH, but we'll do that. Mach HK, you think it's going to go lower than 16? Yeah, it absolutely could go lower than 16. We could be coming all the way back down to $13 on this thing. We could be coming down to 13 to hit the bottom of the pitchfork again. Now, this is your bearish pitchfork, and this is a bearish trend. If we lose 16, then yes, I do think we are coming down to like 13, 12, somewhere around there. So here's the thing, guys. This is actually really important. We have some very important support coming up with the value area low of our large range right around that $18. And it would be an SFP of our micro range lows, our range since the crash ended. But you can see what happened here on this. We lost the POC, we back tested it, and we rejected. So now we have a probability to continue down to that value area low again. So for me, locally on AVAX, I'm not interested unless we get down to like that 18 to 17.85 or to 16.5. Those are the two levels I'd be interested in longing AVAX on. But primarily 16.5 because we're looking for this impulse to complete. And if you hit here, that's not taking out these lows. And that could be a truncated fifth wave, but it's not likely. What's more likely is to form the triangle for your wave 4. Kind of form a triangle in here where you're and triangles do often form in wave 4s. So something like this and this here, but you would come down. I would want to come down a little bit more to take out those lows. Triangle forming in your wave 4. You're going to bounce from your value area low in the top of your pitchfork band again. And then maybe a fake out break to the upside to take out these semi-equal highs in here. And then that final breakdown. Yeah, everyone, please hit the like button. If you get any sort of insight into the market at all from this live stream, please hit the like button for me. Just a great way to help the channel, help spread the awareness of my channel to others. And I just appreciate it. Appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate your time, all the kind comments you guys give. So thank you so much. And Sudeep, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for modding. It's good to see you. It really is good to see you. $8. Yeah, I mean, I believe on Bybit, we did go to $8. So my GHK, we could be filling in the rest of the, Coinbase could continue to drop to $8 where the Bybit wick went, and we could continue to fill in those lows down there. Yeah, it went to $8 pretty much, $8.50. So very similar. We have a different pitchfork on this one, but 16.5. It's also a daily. It's a weekly. It's a daily. We also have that. Now, I understand that it was taken out with the wick here on Bybit, but on Coinbase, it was not taken out. So we have a weekly and a daily fresh on Coinbase at 16.5. It's the bottom of this pitchfork band. You can see we rejected the upper band, lost the midline. So now if we come down to the bottom here, hold the band, maybe form that range that forms around these bands, even a push up to the midline again where we could take out your range highs into that pitchfork midline, and then we could see a drop down. And once again, look at $13. So no matter which pitchfork you use, this one $13, the other one $13. So 13 is an important level, and 16.5 is an important level. Let's see. Did we hit? I don't think Bitcoin hit the golden pocket yet because I didn't get that alert. But it does. Not quite yet, guys. Just barely, though. Crazy. We're trying to hold the 1.236 right now. You can see that 1.236. But here we go. We're coming down right now. Yep. There you guys go. ASTR's hitting its golden pocket as well. Or it's 786. Now we have to shift our bias completely now, guys, that this is no longer an impulse to the upside since last Wednesday. This now cannot be considered a multiple 1-2 impulse. Scratch it out of the books. And unfortunately, that means the bearish scenario is more downside is likely. We could now be starting an impulse to the downside. 1, 2, let's go 3, 4, 5, maybe all the way down to 108K. Let's pull our trend-based Fibonacci extinction here and look at where our wave 3 target could be. So yeah, coming down to 111.5, we could bounce from that as a wave 3, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But here's the thing I don't like about that. This, you don't really see a 5-wave move down here, a nice clean 5-wave move down, because within an impulse, a 5-wave impulse down, say let's do this, you want to see, and the 4 would be bigger, and then 5, but you want to see an initial 5-wave move down here in your wave 1, and it's really hard to count that. It looks more like a 3-wave corrective move. As I was saying at the beginning of the stream. This dump is a little bit surprising to me, actually. Okay, I will go into DOT. I don't know if I've looked at DOT in a long, long time. We did, yeah. Man, DOT is just so bearish. I think DOT's a dead project, personally. I think DOT's a dead project. I mean, we're pretty much at all-time lows here. Let me check one more thing here. Do I have DOT even on here anymore? The thing with DOT is you were kind of forming a bottom around here. You can see that weekly selling pressure was kind of exhausted around here, but we're now even losing the pitchfork. The site, it's looking very bearish. But what we can look at here, let's take this. That's already a modified. Wow. Okay. The last thing you could do is make that an original. And yeah, I mean, that's where your dump ended. We're chopping around the pitchfork band. Once again, the ranges that often form around in and around these bands, we're forming a range here. But I would expect us to, if we don't bounce from the bottom of this band, we could move all the way down to the midline at like $2. $2 to like $1.96, $1.95 in that general area. So now let's look at, we'll mark out some of our local levels. We have the daily coming in here. And today, look at where we rejected today. We rejected that daily. I believe we did. Let me zoom in here. Yeah, rejected the daily here today, and now we're flushing. So the daily was confirmed yesterday. Between this range here, we confirmed a daily level, came back up, hit the daily, and now we're dropping. You do have your golden pocket coming in at the bottom of the pitchfork. So if this is going to just continue to range within this small range here, let me pull a volume profile for this guy also. Wow, this is a bit funky, but I'm just going to pull it. Okay, couple levels to look at, actually. There's some nice local levels here. If DOT is going to continue to trade, we have some nice local levels. We have the golden pocket coming in at the bottom of the pitchfork band right now, pretty much right now, a little bit lower. But the 786 at the value area low and at your daily level, this could be a nice little local bounce area. Even if it's going to be a scalp long position. Okay, so there. And then, like, of course, golden pocket in the bottom of the pitchfork band looks kind of nice too. But I think this would be the area I'd be interested in. And if you don't bounce from here, you're going to take out this liquidity. Both of them, probably at the same time. You're probably going to keep flushing down here and take them both out. Okay, yeah, two very nice levels of support right below us, guys. We have a naked daily point of control right at your golden pocket. That was from yesterday or a couple days ago. But at 297, you can see it's pretty much the bottom of your pitchfork band. It is your golden pocket. So I would say this is a local support level that we're coming up to pretty much right now. If you lose that, I would not be interested in anything until we get down to this next area between 291 and 289 or 290. Let's say 290 to 291.44. Daily level in there. This is a naked daily at a golden pocket, and that's really nice too. Now, here's the thing. Which one do we choose? You guys say, okay, you laid out two nice support levels there. How do we know which one it's going to bounce from? That's when you go look at your confirmations on your indicators. So while we're dropping down here, low, lower high, lower low, if we're coming down here and we're making bull divs into this naked daily in this golden pocket, then yeah, I'll attempt a long there because I'm seeing confirmation to look for a long there. If we're not, then guess what? I'm going to wait for it to bounce here, create another lower high, and then come back down. And now we'll look for some bull divs when it gets to the 786. So this is where having NAMI and having Market Cipher B are really good for confirmations, because now we're saying, which one is it going to be? Divine Hood, is it going to be this one, or is it going to be this one, or is it going to just bust straight through both of them? Well, we just have to look at our confirmations, whether to enter or exit, and that's what can keep you out of a bad trade or not. Even though it's a support level, you don't always bounce from supports. It's a probabilities game. As of what I'm seeing right now, let's go to the 5-minute chart. We are seeing some slight bull divs coming into this golden pocket and naked daily. We are seeing some lower lows on the price action, higher lows here. Your money flow is starting to bottom out, and then you can see NAMI has got the bull divs and money flow is already starting to rise up here. But we haven't, I would be looking right at 297 pretty much, right at that naked daily and the 0.65. We haven't even quite hit the 618 yet. You can see we front ran that 618 just barely. So I would be looking for continued. I actually would be nice to get a little bit of a move up here like this and then come down. And that way you could form those bull divs, maybe a third drive. So this goes like this, and then now you have nicer bull divs, and this money flow should start to be bottoming out and starting to curve up, just like you're seeing right now on NAMI. But we only have low time frame bull divs. Let's see our 1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute is starting to form some nice bull divs in here too. And that's another reason, way you can look at if you're whether to enter a trade or not. Like, first zoom in on lower time frames. Do we see that nice curve in money flow to the upside? And do we see the multiple drives of bull divs? So you can see here from this low here, we're making those multiple drives of bull div on the 1 minute, and money flow is curving up here. You can also see here in NAMI, multiple drives of bull div. Now, your 1 minute money flow, it's not looking the best here, but we still haven't quite made it down to our level. I would like to see this bounce a little bit and then roll over again. And if we don't have enough confirmation here, we wait until it continues, and then we look for it here. But honestly, coming into this golden pocket and naked daily, it would be nice to at least see 12 or 15 minute bull divs. We are not seeing that. And what we could get here, what would actually be nice to get here is maybe coming down, getting a bounce from this to create another lower high, and then come down here. And that would give us very nice 12-minute bull divs. You get that bounce from the naked daily and a golden pocket, and then you get one more quick flush down, and now you have some legit 12-minute bull divs coming into this box. PD, thank you, man. I did cover Solana earlier in the stream. I'm looking to come down to that 187 area, but overall, we have the Pitchfork band, golden pocket. It's not a Pitchfork band, but it's your golden pocket in your weekly level. Let me make sure that's a fresh weekly. Yeah, it's a fresh weekly. So we have a fresh weekly in confluence with your golden pocket at 188, 188 to 187, coming down there. But if you do not hold that, unfortunately, I do think there is a possibility that Solana could come take out the crash lows into the bottom of the Pitchfork around 170, 169 to 170. And if that doesn't hold, you're in big trouble. You're in real big trouble if that doesn't hold. Okay, daily at the value area low. That's kind of nice. And then let's check our... So we're hitting a naked weekly right now, seeing a small bounce from this naked weekly. Do we see any order blocks down here? Not really. I mean, okay, you do have a daily at value area low. That could be a small Because here's the thing, we attempted to break out of the value area high. You fall back in your range. If you lose your POC, you can expect to come down to value area low to fill that volume profile again. So if this doesn't hold, then we're almost guaranteed to come down here. And once again, how do you know which one? Look at your divs. When I do that, look at your divs while you're coming down to this golden pocket and the weekly. If you're getting the divs, look for the long. If you're not, wait for the next level. You got to be patient. Okay, we did DOT. We'll do Chainlink real quick. Chainlink here. Chainlink is coming down to our area of support that I laid out in yesterday's video. You can see we're in that 2-week long range. After the crash happened, we're just ranging. Rejected value area high, rotated down to value area low, which was also the bottom of your pitchfork band. Came up to POC, which is right near the value area high. We're rejecting it. And unfortunately here, it does look like a 1-2, 1-2, and we could be in a 3 before seeing 4-5, 4-5. So be careful, because this could be a potential impulse down here. Be careful longing this, because what this could be is the end of a wave 3 where you just see a small bounce and then you continue to kind of create your 4-5s, just like this price action. So after you bounce, you could create that 4, 5, 4, and then one more low for a 5. And then, of course, you can always pull your bigger golden pocket. Here, that golden pocket's coming down into that liquidity. But let's do this. Let's go from the crash lows. Oof. No, you really don't want to pull that golden pocket because it's from a low to a lower high. I mean, the proper golden pocket pull would be from that low to this high, but you can see we've already came down and we've already bounced from those golden pocket 786 levels. So you're not wanting to use that low anymore. You're not wanting to use this low anymore. So now we have to use, in order for a proper Fibonacci pull, we're going to use the next lower high, higher low here, this low, and then we bring it to the highs that we just took out today, or you could even bring it to this high here. But once again, you already came down and bounced from that golden pocket. So that one is kind of out of the books too. And that's why yesterday I was pulling the 786 from this low to the high that we made. You can see that 786 is at the value area low and the bottom of the pitchfork band. So if it's going to hold, that's got to kind of be the area where we're going to hold. If not, we could see a flush all the way down to the $14 rate. I still think Chainlink, I want it to come down here again, even though I bought some spot at $14. I want it to come back down to 14 because what we're seeing here is this triangle that's kind of forming in here. And if it breaks down, breaking down to the bottom of the macro pitchfork in your macro 2-year long range POC down here, swing long, spot buy. Potential. And then, of course, if you do make it down to like $10, $9.97 to $10, that's the ultimate buy level. I will just explain why real quick here. So on that multi-month correction we got at the beginning of the year, you can see this was like December, and we just grind down for like, what, 5 months, 4 or 5 months here. We front ran a macro golden pocket, a macro log golden pocket. And we also front ran taking the liquidity. We did not hit the golden pocket, and we did not take the liquidity of these lows right before the impulse. So those lows are important. Even though they're internal lows, they're super important because you can see we had this like rangy chop in here. These were our 1-2s that were forming. And then we got that nice explosive move to the upside. So there's a lot of liquidity resting below those lows. So even though it's an internal liquidity grab, it's a very important liquidity grab because there's a lot of long positions that have opened in this first leg here that put their stops below that low. And that's why you're waiting for that liquidity. Now, look, we did not take that liquidity out on the crash, the 4-month-long crash from December to April, really 5-month-long crash, 4.5-month-long crash. We did not take that liquidity out. We front ran it by cents from 10.1 to 10.067 by literally less than a penny or something. So coming down in the golden pocket. Now, why is that golden pocket so important? Let's zoom out onto the weekly real quick. And if you look at your ultimate bear market lows, these bear market lows at $5, $4.90, all the way up to this cycle's highs. So you can see that Fibonacci from the lows to the highs. Now, because that is more than a 100% move to the upside, that is a 500% move to the upside, you got to click on your Fibonacci extinction or your retracement, and you got to click based off log scale if you are using a logarithmic chart here, which we are. And you can see that golden pocket was not hit, guys. That's very important. That golden pocket was not hit when we crashed for 4 months. We front ran it just barely. So what could we be seeing now? Lower high before coming down there, grabbing that into the $10 area. Now we have twice the liquidity. We have the liquidity from prior plus the liquidity from the bottom of the move earlier this year. If you stop all that out, man, that would be so nice for a potential spot swing position. And look at this, does kind of look like, well, you could say this is a 5-wave move with an extended fifth, but you don't want your third wave to be the shortest. Let's check this out real quick to see if it is. So that is $7 and let's say 88 cents. And this is 930. Yeah, so it's it could work as a 5-wave move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here as an impulse. But if you look, just look practically, this looks more like a 3-wave corrective move, making a lower high before now coming down and taking out those lows. And once again, guys, we are finding chop within the pitchfork bands that we often find. If you zoom in on the daily time frame, you're going to see that range that forms within the band. It's so common in these pitchfork bands, especially in larger macro pitchforks. Range forming in and around the band. If you lose the band, you can expect to come down to the bottom of the pitchfork. If that doesn't hold and you lose the pitchfork, guess what? You might be coming down to $10, where I would be loading up. If we have bull divs, I'm not just going to load up there just because. I would want to see nice bull divs coming into that area. But locally, I mean, very, very locally, if you're just day trading this thing, that's 786 coming up right now into your value area low in the bottom of the pitchfork band, because we could just chop around more in this pitchfork band and this triangle that we're seeing, this kind of triangle that we're seeing. And actually what I would like to do now is we'll pull a ray. That's your trend kind of. So once again, that's coming in right around that area. Or you could even pull it to the candle body here. I like using wicks, but that's what you kind of got there. Yeah, actually that does look kind of nice, because look at, you tried to break out of the triangle, you kind of formed a failed auction breakout, you back tested it 3 times as support, you couldn't get back above, now you're falling back inside, so you have a probability to come to the bottom of the triangle. If you do this, it would be a little bit nicer. Okay, that was Chainlink. I'll go into was it SUI? Let me check the chat here. Let's see. We'll do Hyperliquid. We'll do SUI. Yeah, guys, please hit the like button if you get anything out of this live stream, any sort of insight or learn anything about the markets or TA. Yeah, I did Aave already. I just did Chainlink just now. I'll do SUI for Ludong. We will do Hyperliquid as well for Lino. We just did Polkadot. Okay, let's see. On some exchanges, those lows were already taken. Yes, Ludong, I understand those lows were taken on other exchanges. Oh, and ETH. I'm sorry. I'm going to do ETH right now because I was meaning to do ETH a little while back. And then we'll go into SUI, then we'll go into Hyperliquid. Yesterday, I talked about this in the video, but we rejected a daily level on Ethereum. I'm going to delete this daily now, but that was the daily level we rejected yesterday on Ethereum. So rejected a daily, and we're falling. And it was also kind of a rejection of the value area high of our like 3-month-long range. Now that you can see here, peaked above, rejected daily, lost it, back tested it today, and now we're dropping. So I'm looking at coming down to this $3,800 level. You have your 786 at the bottom of the pitchfork band, very similar setup to Chainlink there. And that would be if this kind of triangle is continuing, and once again, you got a fake out of the triangle, just like with Chainlink. Now you're breaking back inside. You can expect to break down to the bottom of that triangle and bounce and just continue to kind of range in there. So I am looking to come down to that 3,800 as a potential local support level. But guys, I talked about this last week, and I don't like how we keep making higher lows here. We're building a liquidity trail. And if you start to come down, you could sweep all those lows at once, see a volatile crash, and then you go, so be aware that these are local levels that might not hold if things start getting volatile, especially with tomorrow being FOMC. Be very aware of local support levels tomorrow. It could flush through them so quickly if we get some bearish sort of reaction. So, and for me, ETH, I've been talking about this all last week. I've been talking about it in my videos this week, but on Ethereum, we came down to our macro. First of all, let me zoom out here on the 2-day time frame. This range here, this big range, goes back 4 years. Look at it, goes back to May of 2021. So after Ethereum had a huge impulse to the upside, this was kind of the start of a range of the last 4 years of ETH price action. Well, what did we see? First of all, we bounced from the value area low perfectly, right? You bounce from the value area low, and then you start to impulse. A wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3. Now we were looking at coming down for months, guys. We've been talking about this, looking down to come down to that $3,500 level as your wave 4 before seeing one more wave 5 to end the bull market, potentially around $5,800 to $6,000. Now, I am still overall macro bullish on Ethereum because we have not invalidated this impulse, this big impulse here. But what we did see when we came down to that, on that crash that happened, we did not come down. We came down and we touched the value area low, but also if you pull your wave 4 targets, right? From the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3, you look at your targets as between the 382 and the 0.5. Well, look at where your 0.5 was at. Let me just turn on the 0.5. Where did we bounce from on the crash? The value area high in conjunction with that 0.5 perfectly. But and the bottom of the pitchfork band. We rejected the top of the pitchfork. You fell to the band. Okay. But we did front run a couple very key levels at the bottom of the box. You can see I had a box here. What was at the bottom of the box? A fresh weekly level at 24.97. That is a fresh weekly level that has not been hit yet. And then also naked daily point of control at 34.89. So what I would like to see now is if this does happen, if this local 786 doesn't hold, we might be able to get one more push down here to grab the crash liquidity, the lows from the crash of the liquidity, actually touching that weekly level and that naked daily point of control, swing fail patterning the crash lows, and then ultimately you get that impulse up to 6K or so, 5,500 to 6K. And that's why I am looking for a potential double bottom here. But overall, on this push to the upside, let me turn off some of these levels and get this chart clean. On this push to the upside, one of the things that I do still macro, I am still macro. Let me just hide some of this. We'll get that. I am still macro bullish on Ethereum based solely off of this impulse from the lows. It was your 4-year long range value area low. You bounce from the value area low of your 4-year long range. We are looking at this 5-wave Elliott impulse here. Okay. And we're looking actually to come up to about 6K. But in your wave 4, now we laid this out weeks and weeks ahead before we came down to 3,500. We were looking at this. We came to our 1.618. If we pull a trend-based Fibonacci extinction from the lows of wave 1 to the highs of wave 1 to the lows of wave 2, and we look at that trend-based Fibonacci extinction, the 1.618, where did we reject? Pretty much at that 1.618 at the top of the pitchfork. And that's why we did see a rejection at the top. Now, initially, let's just bring that back real quick. Initially, we rejected pretty much perfectly from it, but it was a front run of our all-time high. So we had one more high to come in and grab the liquidity of the all-time high, and then we saw the big corrective move down. And that's why now, after grabbing the liquidity from the all-time high, we want to see that move down to bounce from our macro value area high. Once again, anytime you break out of a macro volume profile, you'll often come back down to back test it to see if it's going to hold as support. If it does, you can expect new highs. In this case, it would be a new all-time high. So for me on Ethereum, that 3489 to 3500 and the SFP of the crash lows on Coinbase. Now I know that Bybit went a little bit lower. Let me go to the Bybit chart real quick. You notice on the Bybit chart, I have this golden pocket laid in here. This golden pocket is an invalidation, just like we hit the invalidation right now on Bitcoin at 112.4, 112.3 for the impulse to the upside. If this impulse, 1, 2, 3, if this fourth wave comes down and hits the golden pocket of wave 3, it will invalidate the impulse. And that's going to change everything for Ethereum. That would mean that this is more likely to be a 3-wave corrective move and down, bear market. Okay, so even on Bybit, we did not hit the invalidation. Now, I have to say this. The invalidation is also very, very nice support. So if we do come down and hit this golden pocket here, I expect us to get some sort of bounce, but it would be a bounce to make a lower high before making another lower low. That's what I would expect. And then I would expect this 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, a bunch of 1, 2s in here and a big third wave. And then we could see 4, 5 in here coming down. But money flow still looks pretty bullish here. I mean, for me right now, it's not been invalidated. The bullish count has not been, the macro bullish count has not been invalidated yet. So until it is, I'm looking to come up to that $58,000 to $6,000 level. Now, also, let's pull our wave 5 targets here. If we want to find our wave 5 targets for this new all-time high, let's pull a Fibonacci from the highs of wave 4 to the lows, the current lows of wave 4. We're going to look at our wave 5 targets here. And where is it between the 1.236 and the 1.618? We'll look at where that 1.618 would be coming in at the top of the pitchfork, because if we do this for a bit, chop down here, have a double bottom here, come up, chop around in here for a bit, maybe flip it to support, come up to the top in your last 5th wave, rejecting from 6K or just underneath 6K at the top of your pitchfork, bear market. I mean, for me, if we get up here, I will be taking profit on spot, because this could be the end of the bull market. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. You often in bull markets in that last impulse, and this 5th wave is going to be a nice little aggressive 5th wave to the upside. $59,000, $6,000. Definitely take profit area for me. We do not want to hit 3,200. If you hit $3,200, it is bad news. Very bad news for macro sentiment. I am not saying that we won't bounce from there. We probably will, because it's your pitchfork midline. But if you come down and you bounce from this golden pocket, by the way, that golden pocket is pulled from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3. If you hit the golden pocket of your wave 3 in a wave 4, it invalidates the impulse. Now, coming down here, we say we do come down there, we bounce. I would expect a multi-$100 move to the upside before dropping lower. And actually, I would expect something like this. A hit here and dropping to this pitchfork where your POC would be there as well of your 4-year long range. Another bounce from here, another lower high before making another lower low, coming down to the value area low at the bottom of the pitchfork. Pitchfork trading and volume profiles are great when they align. So that is Ethereum. Locally, I'm not too interested. I want that double bottom. I personally want the double bottom into the weekly at 3,500. Now, as we're coming down to that double bottom, we really want to see bull divs. I would like to see 4-hour bull divs, 2-hour bull divs, 1-hour bull div. And right now, we are not even close to that. So we want to bounce. We want to see some bounces. So maybe this bounce, lower high, liquidity, lower high, reject the bottom of the pitchfork or the top of the pitchfork band. This and that would create bull divs where then you could see some nice bull divs coming into that double low. Money flow starting to push back up here. That's what we want to see, guys. That is what I would be my preferred scenario, actually. Now, could this be the bottom? Absolutely. We've hit our target. We hit our target, and yes, it was aggressive on a crash, but this could be it. We could chop in here for a bit and then go. So that's why I'm also looking to get, I'm looking kind of to be aggressive on some longs on Ethereum, just because I know we're likely to have a fifth wave up to 6K, and I really want to catch that fifth wave up to 6K. But yeah. PD, do I have a Discord or an email? I have a Telegram community, and the Telegram community is a closed private community, but it's free to get into, but you do have to sign up with BYDFI using my affiliate link in the description. And if you sign up with BYDFI and you deposit $100 into the exchange, then you can get access to the Telegram. Now, that money is still your money to trade with. You're not giving me the money. You're just depositing it onto the exchange for you to trade with. You'll get the bonus. You'll get 20% discounts on trading fees. So if you're interested, that's what you can do. And then you can text me in the general chat in that Telegram. I try to respond to anyone who asks me a question. I'm sorry, Caleb. I completely forgot about ETH BTC. I will do that right now. And then I still will do SUI. Guys, Caleb asked about this at the beginning of the stream. So I am going to go into this real quick. Ethereum, Bitcoin. All right. Unfortunately, it looks like we're flipping a daily or a weekly into resistance. So all of this is pretty old. I haven't looked at this in quite a while. Monthly level. And we got a monthly down here. I'm just going to mark out some levels, and then we'll look at what we can see here. Weeklies. Oh, so what I can already see right here, this looks nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, coming up to the golden pocket in the anchored VWAP. That's what I see right away on this. Now, let's see if this has been invalidated. Remember, from the bottom of wave 3 to the top of wave 3. Look at your wave 4 targets, which is between the 382 and the 0.5. Now, we have not hit that 0.5 yet. That would be really nice to make one more low into that 0.5. I'm going to check that daily in just a second. Now, look at this. Fresh weekly level right at your POC. Where's it at? Weekly level at your POC. Very nice. Okay, now let's go on to our dailies. That is no longer a valid daily. But we do have this daily order block. You see this red candle right here that's smashed in between all of those green candles. So it's green, green, red, green, 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 green. That is called an order block. When you have one red candle smashed in between a bunch of green candles. That order block right there, the top of the order block is coming in right at your 0.5. And then, of course, the bottom of the order block is going to be your daily level. And right now, I could see that coming down and SFPing the crash lows, the SFP of these crash lows into your 0.5 and your daily is a nice little macro support level where you could bounce from here and then see that fifth wave. Also, so far, this looks corrective. This looks like a descending channel that we're in. Let me make that pink. And we rejected the top of the channel yesterday, we rejected the top of the channel. That was based off these two pivots, by the way. So I didn't make this channel. It just rejected the top of the channel. So now what can we see? Maybe a move to the bottom of the channel. And if it's a quick move to the bottom of the channel, guess what? It's going to be right where that 0.5 is. If it's a little bit, couple week move to the downside, it's going to be where that daily in the bottom is. The daily, but that bottom of that channel is more confluence for support. Because oftentimes in corrective moves, like this is our wave 2 correction, this is our big wave 3. In a wave 4, you'll get that corrective descending channel or descending wedge where it bounces, then continues higher. So very nice support right there. If we lose that, let's just turn this golden pocket on now. Golden pocket is going to be below the weekly and POC. So that's actually a really good thing. We could even come down and bounce from the weekly and the POC and still not invalidate the impulse. Very cool. So between the 382 and the 0.5 is your most common area to bounce. But you can wick past that 0.5 as long as you don't hit the golden pocket. Okay, so we could even continue to chop in this channel all the way down to this weekly and POC, which, by the way, is another long opportunity for me, or another support level for me, is this guy right there. And then, depending on how, this your fourth here, 5 coming up to your golden pocket and value area high, this general area. So it does look like ETH could pump against BTC in the next maybe a couple weeks of downside and then a pump. Let's also turn on our points of controls. I want to look at those real quick. Okay, no weeklies below us. I was hoping there would be a naked weekly at this POC. There's not. And no naked monthlies either. Okay. This naked monthly is coming in around a golden pocket right now, I can tell you. Naked monthly point of control. And then let's check out the naked dailies real quick. All right, wow, look at all those naked dailies above us. I'm not going to mark those out right now. We are just going to look. So right now, if we look from the highs of wave 3 to the lows of wave 4, if your wave 4 is in, you check that golden pocket out. Look at that. That's where your golden pocket is. So we could see something like this as well. A bounce, break, boom, and then go. So be aware of that level, that naked at 038. Okay, oh, SUI. I'll do SUI right now. I'm sorry, guys. SUI. Why am I doing that? SUI here. So once again with SUI, we're chopping around in the pitchfork bands. Pitchfork band, chop around. We are at the bottom of the pitchfork band right now. Today, we're dropping to the bottom. You can see we rejected, first of all, on the weekend high, we rejected the value area high of our local range. Where did I mark out in yesterday's video? The bottom of the range, where your POC Okay, POC is now shifted to where we're at right now. We're attempting to bounce from POC and the bottom of the pitchfork band. So this could hold us here. I think that it's more likely that we do come down here, potentially grabbing the lows. We also have a naked weekly point of control down here and a daily level. So if we turn on some of our levels, we do have a daily level right at the value area low, and we do have a naked weekly point of control pretty much at the value area low as well. The only reason I made that box wide is because the liquidity below, but really your key zone is that zone there. But because that we could wick past it a little bit, we could get that wick to grab the liquidity and then close the candle bodies at and around the naked weekly and value area low. Right now, let's pull a Fibonacci from the lows to the highs. Yeah, right now we're bouncing from your POC golden pocket pitchfork band. So this would have been a support. Now, if this POC was here yesterday it was not. Let me do this real quick. Yesterday, our POC was lower. Let me do right there. Yesterday, our POC was lower, so there was no POC here. But now with our POC shifting, and it actually had shifted before the crash today. Look at, actually, whoa, it's all over the place. Okay, well, right now we're at local support. It's your POC, it's your golden pocket, it's the bottom of the pitchfork band. 1, 2, 1, 2. This could be your third wave, though. You could see a small bounce to create a 4, 5, 4, 5 coming down, finishing a double 1, 2 impulse, and then you'd want to see some pushes up. So for me, I think it's likely that we might see some sort of bounce from here, but it might not be the bounce. So just be aware of that. But you are at your support level. And let's see if there's... Come on. Yeah, no naked dailies there. SUI. Okay. Oh my gosh. Guys, I had no idea it was so late. I really do have to get going here like soon. We did Solana already. If you go back and check the email, we did Solana. What was the other one? Hyperliquid. Let me just take one quick look at Hyperliquid, and then I've got to get out of here, guys. Hyperliquid. Let's do that one. Where did I do it on? I don't know if I've ever looked at this. All right, you're breaking that golden pocket. You're at your 786. You're rejecting your 786 on fib log scale. I would look at this range here. You're at the value area high 786. You bounce from the value area low. The crash, I don't know if that crash is, that wick is as bad on every exchange, but be aware because you are at kind of resistance here, and you could start to roll over here and at least come down to your POC, which is going to be at like $44 or $43.95. I do have to say that of excluding this wick here from this low, this range low, that was our range. Your smaller range was this guy. You're starting to break your range to the upside. And you could see rejected value area high came down to POC. Now you're breaking the range to the upside. You're breaking into your larger range, your daily range, value area high. This does look like it could be an impulse, a wave 1, a wave 2. This is all your wave 3. So if you're going to see a pullback in a wave 4 and then one more wave 5 here, I would pull your trend base Fibonacci, or your Fibonacci. We're going to go here. We're going to look at our wave 4 targets. So yeah, that 382 around the POC would be local support for me. Little local support level in this area. If the end of wave 3 is over, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, that could be a blow off top there, or your 1, 2, 1, 2. This is a 3, so you might continue actually pushing higher in a wave 3 here. We do have some slight bear divs, I believe. Let me check to see. Okay, that is not an. Yeah, okay, not yet. If you do take out that high, you would be creating some bear divs here. But you didn't take out the high. So in some ways, that's bullish. And like what I was talking about with all of this being a wave 1, this is your wave 2. You see a 3-wave corrective move. Very nice. And then this could be the start of your wave 3. But if you're looking at the start of your wave 3, you got a 1, 2, 1. Here's a flat right here. A flat and another secondary 2, 3, 4. You still have to get a 5 and then a 4, 5 here. If you got 2 1 2s, you need 2 4 5s. So your third wave might not even be done with hyperliquid. And then after that, you're going to get your bigger wave 4 retrace and then a wave 5. I would say it's starting to look a little bit like pullback is coming because of the bear divs that you're starting to see. You can see here higher highs here, lower highs here, and now your money flow is topped out and is draining out, about to cross into the red. Either way, right now, this is your local support level. And I bet you there's probably a naked daily point of control there. Right below it, there's a naked daily point of control. So I'd actually extend this box to that. So between 43.6 and 43.1, that's your box of support. And then I would look just real quickly. We can look at dailies. Yeah, there's also nothing down there. You have a daily level, and that daily level is going to be near a golden pocket. So if we look at this same wave 3 golden pocket, yeah, daily's there, but let's pull it from the bottom of the impulse. So at the bottom, here's the thing. If this is just going to be a 3-wave corrective move and you're going to reject the value area high right now, bigger 3-wave corrective move, reject this, you might come down to this daily. You might see a bounce from the daily, but I would actually be looking at coming down here, bouncing a lower high before coming down and creating lower lows. But that's still a support level because it's your macro golden pocket in confluence with the daily. Locally, it does look like, I mean, we have bear divs. The bear divs might not play out yet. You might actually take out this high before the bear divs start to play out. But after taking out that high, you could see a little bit of a retrace here. And then after this is done, you're going to have to repull your fib, but you might get that pull back to the daily golden pocket area, general area. But anyways, guys, I'm really sorry. I do need to get going. Thank you so much for joining. Please hit the like button on your way out. I will be live Thursday and Friday as well. I put out videos Mondays and Wednesdays at market close or around market close. So if you got anything out of this video, please join me back here. I appreciate all of you guys so much. Time Attack, welcome in, man. Thank you so much for being here. Mods, I appreciate you all so much. Sudeep, Time Attack, Mark Dutch, a beer. Thank you guys all for being here. And I